Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Comms Noise, a Star Wars Armada podcast. I'm Chris, and with me today are
Ben, hello.
And Rikki, good evening.
Okay, so episode 6, we're going to try a format today where we run through some upgrades, and we're going to try a bit of a mix here. Hopefully it'll give some good advice to beginners and explain what's strong at the moment, what's good, what a lot of people take. Help them to get a feel why that's sort of taken, why it's good, and what you can do with it, what it works on, and what you can do to mitigate it or defend it. But also, hopefully, will be of interest to more experienced players. And we'd love to hear from you as well. It's a debate, so if you've got different opinions or you think we've missed anything, please do email and let us know. So this week, we're going to look at the offensive stuff. So we're going to look at the red, which is turbo lasers. Blue, which is
ion cannon.
Black,
Ordnance.
offensive retrofits, which is the weird symbol.
The weird
that weird one.
Whatever it is, it might be an explosion. It might be a naval deck gun.
It looks like a little kind of.
It could be an umbrella being blown up, inside out in the wind.
It's like a little mushroom cloud, isn't it?
I guess we'll never know for sure what the hell that's going to be.
Ground cannon? I don't know.
Is it like a three? Yeah, it's like a three-pronged. Like a deck gun for like a World War One ship.
We'll go with that.
This is a long
Yeah.
time ago, so it predates World War One technology.
Of course, and that's why they basically all concern fighters, because they're huge naval deck guns.
nice one, FMG. And then we're going to look at weapons teams as well. So we all got our heads together and had a choice of the top 3, and we've sort of mashed it into the ones that come up commonly. So we will start with the red, because I think they're probably arguably black, but the red are the ones that go on the most ships, I think. The most, just about.
Probably, yeah.
Because most ships have a red and a blue, or a red and a black, don't they?
I can only think
or
of
just
a couple that don't even have a red.
Yeah, most ships can have the red.
So maybe we should also do that as well. We should say what ships you can actually take these on.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's start this off with turbo laser upgrades. Obviously, they fit on Imperial class Star Destroyers. They also fit on Victory class Star Destroyers. Arctans light cruisers. All variants of MC-80. Both MC-30s.
No, just one.
No, both.
I think you had it on both.
Yeah, of course. Otherwise, that's why all
H9s.
No, that's a good point.
frigates have H9s, don't
What am I saying?
they? Both assault frigates.
You use
I didn't know this game.
Both Neb Bs and the Corvette A. So that's a lot of ships. That's like 60-70% of ships.
Basically just not the flotillas, demolisher,
Pelter.
one ship.
And the
Doesn't.
Interdictor.
and interdictor.
Demolisher with H9s.
So what's that?
And the Raiders.
So that's 6 different ships, of which 4 are pretty
Yeah. Not
underused. Yeah, underused, or rightly not underused.
So-
Rarely used correctly.
That's the
pretty
next
common
list of
upgrade
ships
card.
that you should and shouldn't use.
Yeah, and there's something like 11 or 12 different turbo lasers, I think.
Count them out.
There's loads.
Let's see.
So there's a lot of them. So I think this is probably one of the most
10.
common upgrades to get right.
10 turbo lasers.
So what
They all
did
kind
we?
of have a use. So I don't think there's a red one that.
There's 3
Enhanced armor
that
is
I've
too
only
expensive,
used like a couple of times. Like, I have no intention of using dual turbo laser turrets.
No.
I'm not going to use XX9s. I'm not going to use heavy turbo lasers.
I'm really enjoying quad turbo laser cannons, to be honest. But
Yeah, they are good. But they're
Not on our list.
Not on
Not
this
on
list.
our-
But I think honourable mention to the quad turbo laser cannons.
So that'll be our wild card.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come to that when we come to the wild card
Okay.
then. So we've got in our top 3, I picked TRCs, so turbo laser reroute circuits. We'll go through what all these do in a second.
I think all of us picked TRCs to be on our list. But.
I picked H9s and I picked XO7, and I think you guys both
We all
did the same as
yeah.
well.
We've
So,
ranked them differdifferently, but basically we all think they're the best turbo lasers.
yeah,
So let's start with turbo laser reroute circuits, which we always call TRCs.
yeah.
Because it's such a mouthful. What it says is, while attacking, you may spend an evade defense token to change one of your dice with to a face with a crit or a double hit. So that means you roll your dice in, you jiggle around with them, you spend your concentrate fire tokens, whatever you want, and then you spend an evade to turn one of them, ideally a blank hit, into a crit or a double hit. It's just so reliable.
Yeah.
Super strong for small ships.
And red dice are fundamentally spiky. They're hit or miss.
Yeah.
This makes them non-miss. They just hit.
You roll 3 red dice. One of them's going to miss,
Side.
and you're probably going to get
Guaranteed.
hit, miss, or hit, crit, miss on 3 red dice. This turn that doubles your output because your blank's turning to a double.
Yeah.
You've gone from 2 damage to 4 damage. It's incredible.
But there is very few it works well on.
That's true. I mean, obviously, you have to spend a defense token, so it can.
It's a cost, but it's not. To me, it's not a massive cost. If you've got multiple,
not on a
ships.
Corvette A, which is the ship you see it on all the time.
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 evade.
Imperial
tokens.
can give an evade token.
Yeah, Imperial can put it on anyone with Captain Leader.
Yeah.
Which is really when you see it the most, either on the Architans or a Captain Leader ship.
Well, the Architens is good because then Nida effectively makes them into a Corvette because he gives them a second evade token. So he makes them similar to the Corvette.
Yeah.
And the reason you want that is because if you've got double arc, you want to spend them both potentially to do it on both your shots.
But chances are you're going to want just slave turrets on them.
Or if you have Akbar on the Corvettes, I've seen that as a valid tactic.
Yeah, then you're obviously not double arc.
But yeah, on the Architens, you might just want to slave turrets them. But the reason that you want the 2 is because even with the Architens, if you fire out, you only get 1 arc. You then want to have the other one to actually defend the fire coming back in. Otherwise, you've got to burn the evade token.
Yeah, so you're giving up your defense. Ideally, you want to be able to use this without giving up your defensive abilities. Yeah. I think that's why you don't see them as often on Architens, because people tend to take Vader.
Yeah.
And if you've got Vader, you don't need. He makes your red dice more reliable.
Yeah.
So you don't need the TRCs to make them more reliable.
Yeah, sure.
But if you're going for a different strategy with your Admiral, then it's not a bad choice to go on an Architens. The other thing, finally, you can put it on is a Nebulon B, which you don't see very often because
they only have 1 evade.
Because they only have 1 evade, and they're not really generally there to do your shooting.
I like Salvation.
Salvation's good, but would you?
I don't think I'll put TRCs on it though.
I'd rather put Spinals on.
Yeah, because if you turn it to a crit
Salvation.
and then you get 2 hits for it being Salvation, it just hits the shields generally. It's rare that Salvation's hitting. You're not going to have enough dice to pin the redirects.
And you kind of need that evade on your Neb.
Yeah.
If you're getting shot at long range,
Yeah.
you can't take many hits on a Neb, so you do want to dodge.
Yeah.
So basically, we're saying TRCs are in our list because Corvettes with TRCs are amazing. That's basically what we're saying, isn't it?
Not so good for Imperials.
I do like them on
I quite
Architens
like
just
it
because
on
I don't like using Vader. I like to use other Admirals other than Vader.
Exactly. Putting them on Architens is good if you're not using Vader. I still like sticking Nida on a Victory.
That's awesome.
And giving that TRCs.
Yeah, that's so good.
Because you don't need your 2 redirects.
Because the thing with Victories, and I can say this as a veteran Victory player, is especially the black ones, it's great. You have to set that shot up in close arc so much. And 3 red, 3 black sounds good, but it's never enough to kill anything. And then they get away from you. So you only get 1 shot. So to have that extra little double.
Chase them down with the TRCs.
Yeah, even that, or just that extra double, just to send them over, get the crit in. Maybe you get a nice crit that slows them down, or cripples them, or gives them extra damage. So you do, anything that makes a VSD more consistent is good, because they.
Putting it someone with it on the ISD as well. That was pretty good damage. with like leading shots or something as well, or some stuff to make it super. Just chuck that extra 2 on top of the reds. It's like,
and because one of your reds always misses.
And the other thing about TRCs we should say about TRCs is they work well with spam.
It's like if you have like 4 or 5 TRC Corvettes, it's just death by 1,000.
We are saying this, but you have to buy. What was the card? What does it come with?
So we should mention that. What sets
so it comes with the MC30.
Yeah,
which is frustrating. Oh yeah, we should have mentioned that actually. It is worth putting on an MC30 Scout frigate. It's just you don't see those ships very often.
I saw a list of one of regionals last season when Akbar was the thing, and it was 2 Scout. In fact, I think I took it against you, Ben, in that summer kit. It was a similar build. It was 2 MC30 Scouts.
Yeah, with the red
Akbar.
side dice.
Yeah, so the red side dice with Akbar, so 4 red dice, and the TRCs, and 2 evades.
Yeah, that works because they have 2 evades as well, just like a Corvette.
Yeah, and then if they get in close, or you're trying to chase them up close, you've got 4 reds, 3 blacks. With TRCs.
When you're getting close. It's a hell of a broadside, isn't it?
That's a lot of fun.
I was using these with
Sato, wasn't it?
Yeah, my Sato test game, I had 2 Scout frigates.
But then you're turning the reds to blacks probably, or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't have TRCs.
Much more useful.
Did you have APTs?
I had APTs.
Yeah.
Long range APTs.
That was the plan.
We'll come to that when we come to APTs, I guess. They're bad enough at short range.
We've probably covered TRCs.
So you can't, but the next kit you get it as a participation.
Oh, of
card.
course, yeah. If you just turn up to any of the spring kits, I guess it is.
Q1. I think they're called Q1.
Oh, right. So the Q1 kits, everyone gets a Turbo Laser reroute circuit.
Yeah.
And if you can chat up and snog your tournament organiser, maybe you can get theirs as well.
Then. Yeah,
because they get one, and if they don't play Armada, maybe they'll give you their spare one.
You're a pro. Yeah. But I think... I don't know, if you play the game a lot and you're a good Rebel player, 2 MC30s is not a bad investment.
No.
Because 2's good with like my Mothma, and you've played it in the campaign.
There's multiple
Rikki,
builds.
and you get the APTs with it as well, which is another crucial card for spam that works well with spam that we'll come to shortly. So you're not just buying it for one card.
No, but generally we do share our TRCs around.
When we go to tournaments.
Because no one's got 4 or 5 of them.
No,
you've got to share the love.
True. Although we like to say, probably have the Q1 kits, there'll be a lot more common. Plenty to spare.
We do take advantage. Like when I've spoke to some people that have actually commented and sent us messages, and you try and like suggesting other things to play, you don't realise how hard it is for these people. They didn't have all the cards. They didn't have.
If you're on a budget or you're not in a group that's having to share stuff, then it is hard to get the right stuff.
And it's expensive, Armada.
And if you just want to play like Imperial players, you know, a guy who only plays Imperials doesn't want to buy an MC30.
Yeah. To get TRCs for his 6 architects.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something you want to say, like go and play like 3 of the rogues and villains packs. Well, you only get 1 per pack. Crap.
We always allow proxies, don't we, in casual games, but for tournaments, I've got to. I've lent out a few stuff to randoms I didn't know, you know, like that were at tournaments and stuff. Nothing too valuable, but hopefully people will indulge you.
Yeah.
All right. So what else we've got on the list?
Yeah, I suppose we should mention actually. It's good that FFG the participation cards. Obviously, it's nice to get the unique alternate art, but generally they do give out cards of the cards you want more copies of.
Yeah, they're not giving out enhanced armaments or whatever. For,
Yeah, exactly. They're not saying, here's your extra XX9s or your extra engineering team you always wanted. Like, Jesus, how many? I've only bought one of each ship, apart from like 2 architects, and I've got. 5 engineering teams. And I'm never going to use one of them.
No one's ever going to use any of them ever.
So we can safely say
we'll get that when we come on to
support
next
teams.
Episode. We come on to
we will never use one.
So hats off to them for actually giving limited edition cards you want extra copies of.
Definitely useful.
TRC is going to be good. We have to go and find another tournament nearby.
Yeah,
another one,
another set.
So speaking of, actually, we should probably do. I think H9s would be probably the next highest.
Yeah, I ranked H9s higher personally.
Yeah,
because
in the current meta,
everyone uses flotillas, and H9s are what you need. So I'll read that out. While attacking, you may change 1 dice with a face of either a hit or a crit icon to an accuracy.
Yeah.
So that works on red dice or blue dice. Doesn't whereas the TRC only works on red dice,
and obviously doesn't work on black because they don't have accuracy. But it doesn't state they don't work on black.
Good point. So if you did
just for anyone who's wondering why,
probably is something they should have redone and said it only works on reds. Because it's such a great card.
Well, because blues guarantees you an accuracy for each.
Well, that's it. Because with a blue, you either naturally roll an accuracy, or you roll a hit that you turn into an accuracy.
There's four hits, 2 crits, and 2 accuracies on the blue. And you can do it on crits as well.
So if you have H9s, that blue is guaranteed an accuracy.
If you want it.
Have you noticed there's a theme here? TRCs, guaranteed damage. H9s, guaranteed accuracies. We clearly, obviously, value the cards that just guarantee stuff.
Well, anything that takes luck out brings player skill in, back to the forefront.
You've got 6 turns out of a game. 2 of them, you're not really in combat at the start. 1 of them at the end, you're usually not right in it either. So really, you've got 3 turns of proper combat.
Yeah.
And you cannot afford, for 2 of those turns, to just fuck your dice and get nothing.
Yeah, you don't want to blank out. And like I was saying about VSD, you've got 1 shot when they're in your front arc. If you're lucky and you play it well. If you blank out on that, that's they're getting away. They're away. Yeah.
Saying all this with the
other ships as well, other ships. ISD is much more manoeuvrable, but even that, you normally get 1 good shot at range before they're away from you or down the sides.
Or even with MC30s, unless you're really good at getting them around, you only get 1 good double arc off before against the same target. You can fly up and get something else later. But.
So what do we see H9s on commonly?
So obviously they can fit on the same, almost any ship that has the turbo laser slot, but generally you're seeing them on MC30s. Because you've got all those black dice, lets you almost guaranteed to kill a flotilla.
You don't see them much on Imperial ships, actually.
It's don't.
MC30, I guess because we play Rebels a lot, so that's why we're rating it so high. But I can't think of a...
Well, you could put them on ISD.
Obviously, a Gladiator would like them if it could have them, but it can't. You could put them on an ISD, and generally you don't, because you're rolling 8 dice, so you should get an accuracy naturally.
4 reds, which is a 1 in 8, and 4... blues, which is a 2 in 8, 1 in 4.
Raiders don't have any red slot.
So actually, you've got...
No.
such a high chance of rolling one with an ISD. It's a kind of irrelevant. You could run it on on a Victory 2, but you just don't see a lot of Victory 2 spec'd out for combat.
Again, you're in close to probably not going to.
And then the Architon's not going to have it. Really, well, it might do.
You could have an Architon, you're losing,
but you have so few dice
exactly
that you're only 3 red dice. You might roll a blank 2 hits, which is a pretty average roll, and then one of those hits turns into an accuracy.
Yeah.
What have you really gained?
You're taking your shield off until they evade it at long range because you didn't lock the evade.
No. So either way, having the H9 doesn't actually help.
No.
So again, it's a rebel only kind of
It's a card you generally only going to see on Rebels, but it is good on Rebels because obviously, even if you're running a red dice Akbar fleet, guaranteeing one of those is going to be an accuracy is very good. If you
Rebels like to be at long range generally,
because generally they have evades and they have more red dice.
But then the most strongest ship is the M330 blue guns, which
that's
is
the one that makes the biggest benefit.
Yeah, the torpedo frigate,
because it's got 3 blacks, 2 blues. One of those blues will be an accuracy
and the
guarantee.
blacks are going to do enough to do 4 points on the Flotilla or 5 against the Motti Flotilla.
Yeah, I think that's really why you're seeing it come around now. People didn't used to take it because it was 8 points.
I hardly ever saw it. Yeah.
And it generally didn't do you a lot of favours because you were dropping a damage for that accuracy. But
and in the old,
generally have the same value
world, because all the ships had a brace and 2 redirects. All the ships that mattered.
Yeah.
You only ever wanted 1 accuracy. 2 was pointless because they still got a redirect free. You just want that 1 for the brace, which is probably ECM anyway. So actually having multiple accuracies was not. You'd rather have more damage. Once you got that brace,
we're just seeing it now as a way to guarantee killing flotillas.
Yeah.
On one particular ship, really.
Does that work? So it's while attacking. So it works on anti-squadron as well.
It does. Yeah. You don't see obviously, you need 2 dice to have any benefit.
So you need it on an ISD or a MC-80.
On that one, I was testing the Imperial lists because I threw that on there just for the fact.
Just to kill Howlrunner when she's left on 1, but she's got
2 dice. Yeah.
Well, scatter aces are getting a lot more popular these days. People generally take both A-wing aces together, or they take Howlrunner and Mauler, or
again, we get onto leading shots as well. That works on squadrons.
Nice, but you've got to spend a blue die to.
You do, but if you blanked or messed up 2 2 blues.
Well, some of the ships roll a blue and a black.
Yeah,
so you can reroll that black.
Does anybody know what you get H9s in? Top of your head. It's a wave 1 stuff.
It's a wave. Well, it's the Corvette, the CR90 comes with it for sure.
Ship that it's terrible on.
It is terrible on the Corvette.
Why would you put that on there?
It's probably one of the reasons why no one used it. Wave 1.
People are going to have multiples of these already.
I have 4.
Yeah, if you've got that many in your pack.
Did you get one in the
I've got 2 Corvettes. 2 of them came from Corvette packs.
It might come in the base core
It probably comes in the core set, and then it might come with the Victory.
Was it Victory? Yeah. The picture is on the side of a Victory Star.
No, that's a Corvette.
Imperial. Oh, it is on the... yeah, you're right. Yeah, the red strip. Yeah.
So this is one that's not going to be a rare...
You should be able to get... If you're a Rebel
I think
player,
you probably get one of the
Well, this is a good one because... But we just said you basically only have it with Rebels, and you get it on Rebel ships.
Yeah,
so you
that's
don't
an easy
have
one
to
to come by.
Cross faction if you only.
And you're probably only going to need 2 at most.
Yeah, I can't imagine everyone wanting to run more than 2.
That's only if you're playing 2
MC30s.
Yeah,
it's probably all you ever see them on.
And foresight.
I mean, it's not terrible on if you're running a assault frigate Akbar fleet.
Yeah,
I would probably consider
you've got enough dice
because you're rolling like 5 or 6 dice, red dice, and you do want accuracies because if you've got double hits, they're going to evade those double hits. So turning one of your single hits to an accuracy nets you more damage.
Yeah, good.
And lets you take out flotillas at range.
Yeah, because that's the annoying thing about taking flotillas. Like you shut the scat down, and then they just evade your best die.
Yeah,
but then you probably aren't going to kill them anyway because they can still dodge. Probably your double damage.
It'll take 2 hits.
It will take some, yeah.
But it's better than nothing.
It's true.
Yeah.
So then we all agreed after that our next favourite was the XI7 turbo lasers.
Now this goes on a lot more stuff.
Well, yeah. Now this is a card Imperial players definitely use. Anything that rolls a lot of damage can consider wanting to take this
ISD.
card. Yeah, like Defiance almost always has it. ISDs often have it.
Should we read out what it does?
And it's also good on the MC30s. When attacking, if the defender spends a redirect token, it cannot suffer more than 1 damage on hull zones other than the defending hull zone.
It's just so strong when you've got lots of dice, which makes it more confusing that it comes with the Neb B. Which
Well, that's
only
it.
has 3
And
red
it
dice.
only comes with the Neb B.
It's really
you
weird.
can't get it anywhere else.
Oh,
And it's not a card you'd ever want to put on a Neb B. Maybe Salvation, I suppose. But
And we say the Neb B, it doesn't even come in the core kit with that Neb B.
no, it's the extra. It's the second Neb B you have to buy after the core
Yeah.
kit.
So you're never going to have more than that probably as well. So you're going to have
But
one.
they did, back to our original conversation, they did make this as a participation.
Yeah, I've got 3
Because you
alternate art
sweet talked Kissy
ones. Yeah.
Jim, who doesn't play Armada. And did he give you both?
No, I've been to 2 events that have them.
Yeah, I think you came as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been to them. I've
So-
got 2 as well.
Yeah.
Not 3. Ben.
No.
Yeah,
Uh,
one of them's a kissy card.
I couldn't believe it when he brought it over and just handed it. I won though.
The thing is, like, you don't, because they go on the big ships. You don't really. I've never seen a fleet with 3.
No,
Um,
2. Now we've got like
I think
2
2
or
is
3.
probably the limit. 2 or 3.
Back when 2 hours D lists were a thing,
Well, that's the thing, because now actually, back in the day when it was big ships shooting big ships,
it was amazing.
you really wanted them.
Yeah, because everybody's got redirects and they're relying on their side. Just
So if you're
pushing
trying
it
to
the
take
side.
down like an MC80, you want to be hitting it with an
And
XO7.
XO7s are lethal on the side of the Imaris as
And
well.
oh, yeah.
One shield.
Well, you can't redirect it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
So there's no benefit with
big
shooting
big
it.
shots.
But yeah, big shots.
So again, a lot of people are going to have this card. Probably.
And also,
It's gonna have
it can't be countered easily, because the other problem is, the reason why people take this is because often people take ECMs on the big ships, which means even if you have an accuracy, they can exhaust that card to use one of their defense tokens. Whereas this doesn't mess around with defense tokens. It just says use whatever defense tokens you want, but, so back in the day when everyone was running ECMs,
true.
they were guaranteed their brace.
Yeah, because it doesn't. You
So
can't.
you
override
can't
it.
stop their brace if they're
Well, you
ECM.
used to be able to. We should talk about that story. Advanced projectors used to say. Well,
there was a debate
and
whether
then they fact it and
So the,
XO7's won, so they became.
Is that advanced
So
projectors?
the advanced projectors basically meant that you could redirect to anywhere,
does kind of read that way.
and so they FAQ'd it so that XO7s trump advanced projectors, which is why people don't take advanced projectors so much anymore,
No.
because there's not much benefit when they're running XO7s.
And XO7s aren't so popular in the meta anymore because of like flotillas. They do nothing against
they don't help you against flotillas, they don't help you against fighters, which are both really strong right now. They do help you against MC30s, but again, only if you get a big hit.
Yeah,
That's where we're getting.
Demo,
There's not many big
demo.
ships now, is there? You don't see.
It's less that way.
Yeah,
less that way.
I'm hoping
but for
wave
only
6
6
is
points,
mediums.
why wouldn't you stick it on your MC80?
Yeah.
You know, if you're Akbaring along with like your 9 dice
or
whatever.
ISD, because you
Or
stick
an
that
ISD.
up front.
You
Like,
say that?
you can one shot with ISDs, can't you? Because you can say, well, if you've got two shields left on your front, you can only redirect one, so that's 3 shields, and then you're into the hull. There's a crit. There's 3 or 4 more damage because it's got loads of dice.
You say taking like
you can one shot
MC80
corvettes and stuff.
I think the quad turbo laser. If you've got home 1 and you can put the quad turbo on something else, amazing.
Well, yeah, let's get into our
Absolutely
honourable
amazing.
mention. Didn't quite make it into the top 3 because you have to combo it up with other
Wildcard.
things.
I don't like it because it's 10 points.
It's 10 points. Quad turbo laser cannons. This one comes with the Liberty, and it's while attacking, if you have at least 1 red dice with an accuracy, add another red dice with an accuracy to your attack pool. So it only works in very specific situations, but in those situations it is excellent.
You have to combo it.
So you can combo it up either with home 1, which lets you turn one of your dice to an accuracy. So you're guaranteeing always getting it off.
Home 1 doesn't work on itself though.
No,
it doesn't.
You have to have.
You have to have two big guns.
Yeah.
Or the other combo is Liberty has 2 turbo laser slots. So it can take the H9s and the quads.
Nice.
And it's 18 points, which is super expensive, but you're guaranteed 2 accuracies.
Yeah.
And then you lead in shots it if you want to re-roll them.
If you're in range.
Yeah. So another thing you can do is actually
Nice.
you can add that accuracy into your pool, but if you don't need the 2 accuracies, you then use leading shots to re-roll those red dice in your pool. So it's basically giving you an extra red dice if you combo it with leading shots.
Or you take out a little flotilla from long range because you've just got 2.
I mean, I have a list that I've been testing a lot recently that is a Liberty with H9s, quads, and Ramus Antilles. So you go concentrate firepower, get the token. You're rolling.
Die and a reroll.
You're getting extra dice and a
Turn it all
reroll.
to accuracies.
2 accuracies. It's not guaranteed,
That's an expensive
but
shit.
it's pretty reliably killing 2 flotillas a turn with gunnery teams.
Yeah.
And at long range.
And
Doesn't
if
even
not,
need to get close.
You
to
can
do it.
optimise your roll. If it's not a flotilla, you can optimise your roll to
Yeah.
do a crit or go through the shields or something. Yeah, I
But
think
yeah, it's a very specific card. You wouldn't just stick it on a
I think
Star
for
Destroyer.
for 10 points, it's not just a chuck on card.
No,
You've got to
no.
have a plan for it. Whereas
Exactly.
like XO7s or TRCs is like an auto include on Corvettes almost. XO7s is like you could chuck it on a big ship if you've got.
And you will always get some value
something out of it.
Yeah.
And H9s again, it's like if you're having problems with flotillas, it's an answer. You don't really need to do anything extra with it. But I think the quad turbo lasers are. Which is probably why they don't make.
That's why they didn't make the top 3 really, because it's a
yeah.
very specific combo. Because if you're just sticking it on, you might not roll. You're very unlikely to roll a red accuracy like naturally, and then in which case it does nothing.
Cool,
but powerful.
All right, so that's red. There are a lot of reds, so quite a hotly contested category. Moving down the range ruler.
Yeah, the ion
onto blue
should be a much quicker discussion because
there's
really
only one that's any good.
There's only one that's any good.
Let's talk about that then, which again is goes back to your point, Ben. This is another participation card from last season, and there seem to be hundreds of them because I think there might have been too many kits. But I've got like 6 or something promo cards because they were giving them as spot prizes at other regionals.
Nice.
So I've got like 2 for the tournament.
I've only got 2.
I've got tons.
I think
I
got 2.
I got tons. So,
but it's more than I don't think I'm ever going to need more than.
Well, you get.
But this is
what
a
have you
super
got?
rare. You get it in the ISD and in the home one,
Yeah.
and you must get it in something else because I've got 3 vanilla ones. So maybe you get it with the Liberty as well, or maybe the Interdictor. I'm not sure.
Oh.
But you definitely get it with the ISD and the home one. And what it says, it's only 4 points. Oh, we didn't cover the points values. Oh, well. Sorry.
They're not much.
So it's 4 points.
Of the other.
I think we mentioned it.
You
at
mentioned it
some
was 6. TRCs is 7.
Yeah. And
H9s is 8, and XO7s is 6.
Okay. So leading shots, only 4 points in the iron cannon slot. While attacking, you may discard 1 blue dice to re-roll any number of other dice in your attack pool. So again, it's another really reliable card. It makes your dice more reliable.
Another one for big ships with a lot of
Exactly.
dice.
You've got an ISD rolling 4 blue, 4 red. You can. The problem with discarding a blue dice is a blue dice always has value. There's no blank side.
Yeah.
But if your reds have all missed, chances are discarding 1 damage on a blue dice to reroll 4 reds should gain you a net positive result.
Again, blacks as well.
Yeah,
But then
if
you have ordnance
blacks.
experts actually. We'll get to that later.
Not many ships combo up iron cannons with blacks.
No.
But ships you see this on is, again, ships with a lot of dice. So MC-80s, Star Destroyers.
Yeah. Because it's effectively like rubbish on a ship that has like a Corvette out the side, which is 1 blue, 1 red. It's
I mean
rubbish.
you might see it on a Raider. The 3 blue, 1 black Raider's got that slot.
Yeah.
Um,
Blank on the black.
Seems a waste for points.
It's a bit of a waste.
Yeah.
I think it's probably more useful on the double black one, but
Yeah.
that doesn't get the slot.
The good thing about that is it comes with Imperial and with Rebel ships. So if you buy the big ship, if you can only afford 1 ISD or 1,
Yeah, then
you get it with the ship you want
and
to
you
use.
probably don't want to put it on a small ship.
Exactly.
So
you're going to get it with whatever ship you want to use it with.
what else is there that takes iron cannons? Because the MC-30 doesn't, the Corvette doesn't, the assault frigate doesn't. Is it for the rebels? It's just the big ships. It's only the MC-80s and the Corvette B that can mount iron cannons.
Corvette B.
And no one uses Corvette B, so it's really just the 2 MC-80s that are going to use it.
It's an amazing card, but it only goes on the big ships.
Again, you probably don't want to put it on an Interdictor
No.
because
just
Interdictor
don't want
rolls
to take
mainly
an
blues.
Interdictor.
Yeah,
You
it doesn't
don't
have
need to
enough.
re-roll your blues.
Cool.
So really, the only ships you're going to see it on are Star Destroyers, MC-80s, and maybe a Victory 2.
Yeah.
I can see some value on a Victory 2 if you really wanted to take that ship.
Okay. So what else have we got in blue?
Is it worth talking about the others?
I had 2 of us had Overload Pulse.
Yes.
We'll talk about that, but
It's a very specific combo. It's an 8-point. If you roll a blue critical
Although
hit,
you discovered something cool the other day, Rikki, which is it works on squadrons, anti-squadron fire, right?
The overload force.
no,
this is
you were
correct.
talking about a leading shot.
Leading shots works on it.
Yeah,
And
so
there
if
is
you were rolling like
something
a blue and a black, or if you're rolling 2
right, yeah.
anti-squadron dice and they both miss,
No, sorry, I'm getting confused. You think of Avenger.
Yes.
Oh, right,
Avenger works
Avenger
on that.
does.
So if you've shot at Tycho, and he's just gone scat with a squadron, and he's
yeah,
scattered
then
it.
Avenger can
can just
just
pummel
get
him
him.
with the
But
Sorry.
yeah, leading shots works on squadrons, which we mentioned earlier. So if you roll 2 dice and you miss with both, you may as well spend 1 of your blue because you don't tap this card to do it, so you can do it for every shot.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So back to Overload Pulse. Blue critical effect. Exhaust all of the defender's defense tokens. Now, a lot of new players make the mistake in thinking that the timing about the timing window.
Yeah.
So the way it does work is they spend their defense tokens before you spend your critical effect. So Overload Pulse doesn't benefit the ship which fires it.
Because 8 points
next
would be
one.
a bargain.
Yeah, it benefits every ship that shoots at that ship afterwards.
Yeah.
So getting the timing off on Overload Pulse is difficult.
Which is why if you have Avenger and Overload Pulse on the same ship,
I see a lot of lists
doesn't work.
that have that, and it just doesn't work.
Unless you had Advanced Gunnery as your mission.
Yeah,
Well, you probably have gunnery teams on it.
if you had advanced gunnery and you didn't have gunnery teams,
you
and
probably
you
will
picked
though.
that as your advanced gunnery ship.
And no one picks Advanced Gunnery. It's a real
So,
shame. I'm waiting for the day.
Someone's going to let you.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of advanced gunnery picks.
I've only done it once. I killed an ISD in one go.
It's kind of... It's 8 points, so it's expensive. I think it's great with Avenger,
Works
but
with
it
Avenger.
does telegraph your activation order.
Yeah, you've got to get the timing just right. You have to have,
works
the
well on the
initiative, you have to have more
interdictor.
activations.
Brutal when it happens.
Yeah, if you get an
imagine
interdictor with Overload Pulse off and then Avenger ISD fires, which means they can't spend their exhausted
And if you look
defense
at like a
tokens.
ship like Admonition or something that's relying on its defense tokens,
Screwed.
like at long
Can
range,
Admonition
or at short,
still discard its
it can still
tokens?
discard a token
Yeah.
to get rid of a die, but still it stops that doubling up combo.
So delivery systems for Overload Pulse. So basically, there's only 3 things that want to use it. It's Corvette Bs running in, getting their Overload Pulse off for everything else to benefit. So you could go first and last with that. Maybe
And you
drive
wanna
the Corvette B in, get
You want the
Overload
double
Pulse off
up
and fly off.
because you've got a 1 in 4 of getting a blue crit,
Yeah,
and you only got 3 dice out your front.
I mean, imagine you concentrate fire on that turn to guarantee it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a guarantee.
I've never seen anyone do it.
People used to do it back in like wave 1 and 2 days
when there weren't better options.
when their TLCs didn't exist. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen Matt use it on his.
It's good on Interdictor,
That is
and then
pretty
Avenger,
accurate.
and then Avenger shoots.
Interdictor Avenger works, but you're so short on activations that it's really hard to pull off. And then the other thing that you don't see very often, but could theoretically work, is the Raider 2 with Overload Pulse.
With
Because it
3
work-
blues, yeah.
Gets 3 blues out the front, 1 out the side. Could work.
That would
It's
be
there
quite
before it
cool
does
because
anything
if you've got like an MSU, like a multiple small unit
Yeah.
ship list, 1 raider, you can have a couple of pops out with 2 raiders, and then your demo or your other raider comes in with no defense tokens.
Yeah, exactly.
Or defense tokens all exhausted and just
I've never tried it, but I can
Pumps
see
through.
that working in theory. But
So you need to
Raider
focus.
did,
The trouble
fair
is, it only really works for big ships and big dice pools, and you need to focus fire on the thing you do it to.
yeah,
to
so
get
you
the
need a
most
little
use out
thing
of
to
it.
do it, and then a big ship to follow up.
Yeah,
That's the theory, really.
yeah. So it's pretty niche.
And then
We had MS1.
I put MSM1 on there because they're so cheap. It's 2 points, and it's a blue crit effect to exhaust a defender's upgrade card. So it's super niche because it only affects cards which are exhausted, which aren't many.
But there's ECMs.
Would you not rather just have a crit instead of using that?
Well, if they have
That's what I'm just
if they
thinking.
have their shields up, your crit does nothing.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So it's like an early game card where, like,
I mean, never ever seen it.
But like,
on
because you
ships.
trigger it after their defense tokens, it's crap against ECMs, right? Because they just use the
well,
ECM.
it forces them to use their ECM on that attack.
Okay, so if it was
Which means if you then have an MC30 coming in,
They
or
were saving
a big
it
Star
for-
Destroyer, or a demo hit,
Yeah.
it's basically kind of like an Overload Pulse,
Yeah.
but for ECMs.
Yeah.
But also, other cards that you might not have thought of are engine techs. You can't use your engine techs if you've been
Yeah.
hit by that.
Yeah,
You can't use your dual turbo laser turrets.
and it hits
Hits
that really big title card, Interdictor, which
Yeah, that would be actually useful to knock out.
1 in the regionals we went to at 47. No, there was it even 1 in 47 fleet?
It hits intel officers.
Yeah,
They
don't see them
exhaust.
as much anymore.
No? But that's the thing, yeah.
But yeah, there's a few
There's a few.
bits of bobs in
There's
there.
someone
I
else
would
as
say it
well.
was a great card.
Wolf Yularen,
Yeah,
he taps. The other guy who's like Wolf Yularen's little mate, Commandant Ardesco,
yeah.
he exhausts.
See from Rebels.
Yeah. Yeah, he's some
incompetent
Imperial officer from Rebels, yeah, as they all are. So yeah, I mean, it's super niche. Like, chances are you might run into a
That's
game
been
where
2 points
they
more.
don't have a single card that MS1
Yeah, but
could affect.
I guess,
But it's 2 points.
depends, doesn't it? If you're trying to get a bid, 2 points is
Yeah.
important.
If you're having a lot of
If you
trouble
just
with
got to chuck it in.
engine
I'd rather
taking
have the
demos,
extra.
Yeah, yeah.
Or-
Or on tractor beams as well.
Yeah,
That's
tractor
exhaust.
beams.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
about it, isn't it?
So I had SW7s in there as my wild card. I don't know what else have you got.
I had the
You had
high
normal-
capacity ion
high capacity. Should we look at that?
Yeah, I mean, high
Turbines,
capacities are
yeah,
kind of
turbine.
expensive. They're 8 points. and they give you +1 blue out of
I was
your 2
struggling.
side arcs.
Yeah.
I was like,
And they're a modification as well, so you can't use tractor beams or...
There's a lot of other cards that you can't combo with them.
Yeah.
I just think they're a bit expensive because the only ships you want to put them on are generally cheaper ships, and then the 8 points is such a high proportion of their base cost.
And also, like, if you put them on like a big ship, like an IST, to make the side arcs better, you want the front arc to do the damage, don't you?
Yeah,
you
exactly. And you want leading shots on the big ships, which is half the price.
Yeah.
again, so leading shots, pretty much.
Yeah.
The only blue you ever. Really
I've got a wild card, which is SW7 ion batteries, and especially I think this combos well with one of the turbo lasers we were talking about earlier, which was the wild card there.
Oh yeah, so this one is 5 points, and it's when attacking a ship. Each of your unspent blue accuracies deal 1 extra damage.
Yeah.
So it doesn't combo so well with the quads.
Is that only red, is it?
That's only reds.
Okay.
But it does mean you use your red accuracies to lock their tokens, and then your blue accuracies become damage.
The thing I like about it, I still think it combos well with either the H9s or the reds one, is it means your blue dice are guaranteed 4 damage. So all you need to do is get 1 on a flotilla. All you need to do is get your 2 accuracies, hit their tokens, 4 damage dead. Guaranteed on your blues. You don't have to reroll, you don't have to use leading shots, you don't have to do anything, because you either get a hit, which is damage, a crit, which is damage, or accuracy, which is damage. So
if you wanted to make a dedicated flotilla hunter, I suppose
it just makes you really consistent.
Yeah.
It makes you, and it gives you the flexibility to use. I'm not saying it's not nowhere near a category of must use, but I've seen it to good effect with XO7s as well. Back in, I fought against it in a tournament back in Wave 2, and it was very good because this was obviously XO7s. It was basically guaranteeing that you would get you'd get 6, 7, 8 damage was basically your minimum on your IC. So you're guaranteed to get 7, 8 damage with XO7s.
And if everyone was running ECMs, then you knew that they were going to get their brace off no matter what.
Yeah.
So your accuracies had no value.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a wild card there.
I guess if you're running Vader, and which gives you more reliability on your reds anyway, then you don't need leading shots.
Yeah.
So then I can see it has a place there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was on the list I saw it used was two ISDs, and they both had gunnery teams, and they were literally side by side. So it was 2 front arc. They were double front arcing 2 things each a turn. And they were basically saying, well, there's 7 damage, 6. I think the average, if you roll with the 4 blues and the 4 reds, would be what's the average damage output on a red? Like 0.8,
0.6 something.
Yeah, so you're looking at you're looking at 4 from your red, your blues plus
3,
maybe
from
3
your
or 4. So it's something between it's between 4 and 12, isn't it? Because you could double.
You could double, but
so it basically takes you from an expected value of 4 or 5 to or I have seen some rolls where
sometimes you just roll 4 accuracy.
Exactly. Yeah. And you go, oh my god, and then blanks, and you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
It just takes
so more reliability again.
It gives you that reliability.
Against, that reliability is only true against big ships with ECMs, because otherwise you do probably want those accuracies.
Yeah,
it's going to evade or scatter.
Yeah, it's a wild card out there. I can see it having more use with if bigger ships come back, but
I can't see that happening. I don't know how you can do it.
Not
unless they bring them back cheaper.
No, I think they'll bring them back once they tone down fighters.
Yeah,
not tone them down, but give you more ways to get rid of intel. Then I think big ships will make a comeback.
Any others that we wanted in there?
No, I think otherwise we'd just be struggling to justify cards we never actually use.
Let's get on to black then, another category.
So there's only 5 black cards, so more than half of them are making it into the top 3 by default.
Okay, so the 2 that aren't are pretty bad, right? Only through expense.
So we all agreed number 1 was APT.
Yeah, this is similar to leading shots, isn't it? It's just to stand out.
So assault proton torpedoes. Again, you only get them in the MC30, which is a bit of a kick in the nuts for Imperial players.
Hopefully Q2 participation cards.
Hopefully. And it is a black critical effect. Deal 1 damage card to the defender. Face up.
It's a picture of Demolisher getting what it deserves. Yeah, that's what the next fact needs to be.
So an important thing that a lot of people don't see about this card is that it's not that... Okay, the obvious benefit is you're doing a face-up damage card through shields. Great. That's why it's good. But this damage card is in addition. So the regular critical hit says that one of the damage cards you deal is dealt face-up. Whereas this, it doesn't spend your crit, it just uses the crit effect to add an additional face-up damage card.
Yeah.
So it nets 1 additional damage as well as making it face-up.
Before you incur the other damage. So if you get a crit that's like lose all shields on a hull zone or something, you can lose the shields. Seen that happen before.
Yeah, and then
take...
You did it to me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
So you do your special through the shield crit, but the shields drop, and then the rest of the damage all hits the hull. And this extra point of damage doesn't count for your brace token. So
There's no way to stop it.
So it's basically, you'd expect an upgrade
there
like
is.
this.
You can stop it with that damage control team or whatever it is now.
You can stop that whole effect from happening.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah. But what I mean is, if let's say I do 6 damage and a black crit with this, so that's going to be 7 damage total.
So
One face
A
up.
better example would be if let's say I've done 5 damage, which is actually pretty average for an MC30, and done this crit, it's going to be a total of 6 damage. But your brace only takes 2 damage off of that. It drops so I do 5 damage on the dice, which drops down to 3 damage after the brace, and then the crit comes through to make it 4 damage.
Yeah. So what we're saying is this gives you through the shields. It gives you an extra damage and it's harder to mitigate through brace. So it's not just it's an extra damage is better. So you'd expect something like this to maybe be. You'd expect if there was a if there was a card in blacks that was 13 points, you'd expect this one to be it. Right? And how many points is it? 5.
Only 5. It's the second cheapest one. I think it's actually slightly undercosted.
It's a little bit overpowered, isn't it?
I would make. I would.
It's a great
if it was
card.
8 points, I'd still take
The
it.
thing is, it's probably 5 in an environment where you need the black crits. You only get 1 in 4. In an environment where you've got Ordnance Experts and
That's true. So when comboed up
all
with
the
Ordnance
stuff that lets
Experts
you
or
reroll it.
Screed or Vader,
Just
So many
guaranteeing
rerolls
it.
for
so many
black
ways
dice.
to get your black crits off.
And that only comes in the MC30, but you can get it along with your Turbo Laser rewrites.
Well, that's it. Yeah, you got 2 amazing cards in that.
But
box.
the issue with that card was not so much now, but in Wave 2, one of the most popular Imperialists was 5 or 6 small ships, Raiders, Gladiator, legs, with every single one had one of those. So are you going to buy 6 MC30s and then not use any of those MC30s just to buy the card to put on your
Raiders?
ships?
Yeah,
So-
that's one thing I don't like about this game. It's
Well,
like
actually, they call
holding
them
the
out
good cards
because,
hostage.
Yeah. Well, like we've said, on some of them, on a lot of them, they've done okay, but this is an example where they haven't.
Yeah.
You know, leading shots comes with the ship you're going to use it with, but this is
One of the
I
tournaments
guess
coming
you are
soon
gonna-
is going to be one of these.
You are
either
gonna-
that or
Or just the
ACM.
next ship that comes along, because I'm kind of surprised it didn't come with the Pelter, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that would have been nice.
Yeah. Instead of come with
Or the Raider as well. Like
Yeah. So what else does this? So basically, the targets for this are MC30. It's great.
it goes on the MC30, it goes on a Gladiator,
is
it goes on basically anything with that slot. It makes
It
benefit.
goes on Victory, doesn't it? But you don't see it.
you
on
can
You
put it on
can put it on a
Victory.
Victory, and it's not a bad choice for 5 points.
Yeah.
You put it on a Raider, which is actually pretty cheeky. Little Screed Raiders with torpedoes.
You don't
are
see
pretty
many
scary.
Raiders about them.
You don't know. If the Raider was better.
That's like saying that MSU list, the multiple
So
small
Raiders
unit
is
list,
pointless.
was I think it was like 4. It was 3-4 Raiders and a couple of Gladiators.
Yeah, 2
And
Gladiators,
all the
3
Raiders
Raiders.
would have them, and you'd have
Yeah.
Screed, so you just
What
spend
makes
the
them
blue.
such a threat?
Crit.
You just crit. You just do like you go and smash something. You'd lose a Raider, but because they would activate and kill you. But you'd do 4 crits on it through the shields.
Yeah.
And
Well, that kills an MC30
See-
straight off the bat.
Yeah.
4 hull damage.
Well, I tried running them the other day and I stuck Sensor Team on it.
Oh, to guarantee an
And
accuracy.
yeah, because it's one. If you do the extra dice with Screed, you kill a flotilla. You can kill a
Mm-hmm. with the
flotilla with
ram.
1 extra dice. No, 1 extra dice and
Second, what are you saying? So you
have to spend
concentrate
the
fire, you mean?
concentrate fire.
So you're
you got
rolling
5 dice.
well,
You
two
lose
blues,
2 dice
2...
because you got to lose 1 for Sensor Team.
Yeah,
You lose 1 for Screed.
yeah. So you've
that-
got 2 black dice, one of which is guaranteed to be a crit.
Yeah.
So that's 3 damage in total,
Plus-
isn't it? Because you've got 2 damage on the dice plus 1 for the APT.
So that's 4.
And then what? The extra black dice has to hit.
Yeah, you have. Oh, the blue, sorry.
So one of your
the
dice.
Sensor team's turning one to
You can just use 2 blues,
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Yeah. No, the fact is, there's basically no way you can mess that up.
It's a guaranteed kill of a flotilla if you can get your raiders there without them
At
dying.
close- short range.
close range.
Yeah. And then not Bright Hope.
Yeah.
And
Or
Bright Hope.
Motti.
Yeah. Although if it's either Bright Hope or Motti, you could
Ram
probably
it.
get the ram off.
Yeah. Or the side. You could shoot them again, possibly
Or
with the blue
Bright Hope
back.
in the backs. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I hadn't thought that build. That sounds good.
It isn't.
Because the raider gets shot
Yeah.
before it does anything.
Dies before
You
it
get
gets
killed just by standard squadrons that aren't even bombers.
Or someone fires an assault frigate at long range and one shots you or something.
Yeah, no,
It's
the
just
amount of times.
2 evades. It just does.
If you get into
does
medium
nothing.
range of anything with like 4 or more dice,
Yeah,
you're dead.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the raider this episode.
No. So that's APTs covered, and that's blacks, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. ACMs
So I
are
think
good. I
we-
like ACMs.
I think we all had ACMs in there.
ACMs are good. I mean,
but
everyone
they're
used them before.
So far behind.
So the ACMs are the
APTs.
the assault concussion missiles, which are 7 points, and they're a black crit. Each hull zone adjacent to the defending hull zone suffers 1 damage. So again, this gets past the brace because it's two extra damage that isn't part of your damage pool.
Mm-hmm.
So it has the same advantage of sneaking under the brace, and it's 2 extra points of damage, which is great, but it's spread out.
Now, if you can double arc with this card,
Yeah, that's
and if you've got multiples of it,
sick.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like sandpapering a ship to death.
Absolutely nasty.
And it's obviously killer against a neb. Because if you get two shots on a neb, then you've first one takes off the side shields, the second one is 2 extra hull points.
Yeah, it's done, isn't it?
Yeah. And the neb's obviously relying on its
I
brace.
agree with you, Rikki. I think they're still good. It's just if the APT
Doesn't work on its own.
If
Yeah.
the APT was fairly priced, this would
Yeah.
be competitive for it.
I agree.
Because the APT is just so.
And if you're running one of those
underpriced.
lists where you've got 3 or 4 ships with these upgrades, those 2 points actually add up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Because
one
that's true.
one
you're
thing
going for a
going
bid too.
back on actually the APTs that we didn't mention. So there's a couple of admirals it combos well with. I'll talk about Dodonna because I've used it a lot with him. That's amazing, although I never seem to get the one I want. But getting 4, just flying up to something, you're going first, you fly up to it, you've got ordnance expert, so you're basically guaranteed it. You do it, you look at the top 4 and you pick what you want to the situation.
Double
It's
damage.
Really,
Double damage.
It's really strong with
really
Dodonna.
nasty.
And it's strong with Sato
that's what I was
because you
gonna
can launch
say,
them
yeah.
from
So
long range.
You talk about that because I've not used that.
I really
So-
want to make that card work that lets you do 2 crit effects, but it just doesn't.
No.
It's not better than Ordnance, which we'll get onto later.
So with Sato, you stick it on a scout frigate, which gives you 2 red dice. You concentrate fire for 3 red dice, and as long as you have your squadrons in range, you convert 2 of those to
2 blacks.
So before you do anything, you have your 2 red dice. You convert one of them to a black, one of them to a blue. Then you add your concentrate fire to add an additional black dice.
Yeah.
So now you're rolling 2 blacks and a blue. The blue you've got H9s on that build, so the blue's guaranteed an accuracy. The
Or a reroll if you've got even shots.
no, you can't fit leading shots on that.
Oh, no,
you don't
you
have the slot. Obviously, if you're shooting at something that doesn't have an evade token,
Yeah.
you're just rolling 3 blacks.
Yeah.
But if they do have an evade token, you add the blue in there to lock out their evade.
Yeah.
Then you've got ordnance experts to re-roll your blacks. Hopefully, you're rolling your crit, and you basically from long range, you've just given them a through the shield crit effect. It's pretty powerful, but it's expensive, and you need your fighters at range 1 to pull it off.
Yeah.
But the fleet I ran had 2 of those, and then
But that APT hurts so
and a
much.
pelter with the same.
It hurts so much when it happens. And to get it from long range.
Well, that's it. You do it at long range, and
man.
then you drive up at fast speed, and then you do it at short range with 5 blacks. And
Brutal.
ideally a double arc, so you're getting 5 out the side of 3 out of. Is it 3 out of?
Sorry, I hijacked assault concussion missiles there, but that just shows how good the APT is.
Yeah,
So much to talk about in Ordnance.
So it's another one of those
APCs.
colours that just.
and obviously it's good for
It
It
Screed
kind of picks itself.
because Screed
yeah.
can guarantee the crit.
I do like the ACMs, and you spammed them against me the other week, Rikki, and it just does sandpaper the ships down so quick, especially small ships. You just
It
think
does make them.
you can get one shotted out of nowhere if you get a good roll. Which is,
And do you want to
Yeah.
redirect your shields after
brilliant.
you've just lost one already?
Well, that's it,
It's
because
like-
corvettes rely on their redirect to stay
Yeah,
alive,
yeah.
and this just kind of cancels that pretty hard.
especially
and
when
then-
you get another arc with it, and then you're just guaranteeing that extra damage.
Yeah, they are good. I think it's just because the torpedoes are undercosted that it
Yeah,
makes the
I
missiles look worse than they are.
I like ACMs, but I know APTs are really good. And we're saying like the abbreviated names again, aren't we?
Yeah, well, as long as we've explained them, so the guys can work out what's what. So the assault concussion missiles, what do they?
They
come?
They definitely come in the Gladiator,
Yeah,
and let me count how many. And they come with the Raider,
which is
which are the 2 ships
of the
you would probably
three
want.
ships
You
you
can
want
stick
them
them on a Victory 1. It's
Yeah.
not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But you probably wouldn't because you stick with APT.
If
have
you've
them on
got
a-
them.
You have
But
them on a Victory 1 and XI7s on a Victory 1, and then like
Yeah,
Just stop them doing anything.
yeah. The XI7s are pretty fun on a victory one actually because that is a lot of damage in their one shot.
And then that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
there isn't really an obvious third.
I think I've been trying to get flechette torpedoes to work, but I haven't. The Raider doesn't stay long enough to get any value out of them.
Because it's only the Raider that can actually use them.
And the Pelter.
And the Pelter, yeah. They come with Pelter, right?
And the Victory.
No.
Victories
You have to have black anti-squadron
Oh,
to do it.
No.
So it's really just the Raider and the Pelter. Because anything else with the black anti-squadron doesn't have the ordnance.
No.
Does the ISD-1 not? It doesn't have
No.
it, does it? No.
Oh, no, hold on. It might do.
ISD-1 have it?
No, it doesn't have an ordnance slot.
Oh. Weak.
So,
This is what I was trying to
the problem.
test.
Flechette torpedoes are great, except the only thing you can fit them on
Readers.
is bad.
So they're probably a wild card. Like, as soon as we get a ship, there's a bit more of a durable that has black anti-squadron and an ordnance slot. They might work.
Then they'll probably come back. Or if there's just like an officer card that comes out that makes your Raider a bit tougher or something, maybe.
And the other two things in there, we won't talk about them at length, but they're bad for. They're good, but they're overpointed. They're just way overpointed.
So I think
and their modifications.
We've got expanded launches, which I think is a trap for new players because I see a lot of new players taking it in their lists.
Yeah.
Expanded launches is 13 points, and it gives you 2 extra black dice out of your front.
Which would be great for like
armament.
4 points or 5 or 6
It looks
points.
great on a Raider, on a Demolisher, doesn't it? Because you've got Gladiator, because it gives you 4 black, 2 red, which is kind of terrifying. But on average, those black dice are only going to give you 2 extra damage.
Yeah, and they could probably get braced anyway. To 1 damage.
And you think about it, your torpedoes
So
are guaranteeing you a damage and a crit effect.
what you're saying is the expanded launchers for 13 points are probably going to give you 1 extra damage. And your assault proton torpedoes for 5 points.
Going to give you
1
extra damage.
2 extra damage.
Well, no, 1 extra damage and a... because if you double arc, torpedoes are giving you 2 extra damage.
And you can't brace it, and it's through the shields.
Yeah, and it's a
costs-
crit effect, and it's a third of the price.
So don't take expanded launchers.
Yeah, so if you're not convinced that expanded launchers aren't good, and expanded launchers is a
Or rapid
modification,
reload.
I think I love the idea of rapid launch, expanded launchers on Raiders to make them these sort of crazy glass cannons, because you'd roll 4 black, 2 blue out the front. But it's just it's like it's almost
given away
half
a lot
the
of
cost of the
points.
Raider to upgrade.
One thing, and again, this is the one thing I do like these on. This is back in Wave 1. You wouldn't probably take it in a serious tournament now because 13 is prohibitive expensive. But again, VSD1 with XI7s and expanded launches.
Pretty cool. It's just too expensive, isn't it? That's the problem. Because you're really only going to get to use it once or twice.
Yeah.
And then rapid reload is similar. It's 8 points for an extra shot out of each side.
Yeah. The trouble is, how often are you using both sides?
That's even less value than expanded launcher.
Because generally you're double arcing with your front and your side.
Yeah.
So you're not getting both
Even
sides
with
off.
demo, that's what you're doing when you move.
Yeah.
After.
So you just don't get it off enough to justify it.
Such a rarity.
It's too expensive because it takes up your same slot as your special missiles, which are going to give you way more value at the end of the day than 1 extra black dice.
Modification's just not worth it.
I think it needs to be cheaper because it's the same. It's only 2 points cheaper than enhanced armaments,
Which is red.
Which is red. So you get so much more use out of enhanced armaments.
Yeah. Nobody uses enhanced armaments because of the strength of the red category.
Yeah.
I used enhanced armaments in Wave 1, was it?
Wave
The assault
1.
frigates was
Yeah, the
it
assault frigates.
was alright on the assault frigates.
If I spend 10, I would
expensive,
still
but-
take quad laser.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's
a different
enhanced
environment
armaments
now.
terrible, but back when it first started,
Oh, yeah,
your
definitely.
options were enhanced armaments, H9s, and maybe that was it.
That was it, I think. I know, XI7s from your nebs.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. That's,
All right, so
next
we'll
one.
look at the
Missiles.
offensive retro. So we just split. I think there's 10
There's
upgrade
10 slots.
categories.
We've split them into 2 groups.
Yeah, we just split them into 2 groups. We'll do the other 5 next time. We've just put offensive retrofits and weapons teams in because they tend to combo with.
Because they feel like they fit with weapons. don't they?
Exactly, yeah, they fit with offensive.
So offensive retrofits, I've got a little rant about offensive retrofits before we start. So, generally speaking, there are some exceptions to this, but as a rule, Imperial ships get offensive retrofits and Rebel ships get defensive retrofits. Which sounds great, makes sense. Imperials are all about coming to get you, and Rebels are about trying to stay alive. I like that concept as a theme. But holy shit, the defensive retrofits are like so much better than the offensive retrofits. It's really disappointing that
Yeah.
there aren't better offensive retrofits.
Well, I think there's some tricksy stuff you can do. We'll go through and
There
I'll
was thin.
shout out. There's a few
Did anyone add?
bits and pieces.
None of us
So-
put rapid launcher at B because none of us actually.
We don't know the rules on it yet.
No, I've been theory crafting fleets around it, but they just never seem as good as...
Well, it also depends. I'm not sure we want to get into it until there's a
classification
but
on it.
Effectively, I think we could summarise it by saying there's a debate over whether you deploy the squadron as an activation, so you get to deploy it and fire it as one of your squadron activations, or deploying it costs you one of your squadron.
Yeah, and then you have to
activate it again with something else. And either one works okay, but you have to build your list depending on which one.
Which way it works, because the card is super vague, and I can see why there's so much debate.
So I don't think we
won't get into it until there's an official ruling
until there's a proper ruling, because it's.
I do hope it is deploy and not fire. I really do hope.
Why?
Just to stop people driving up and giving you the B-wing lethal injection.
Well, that too. Yeah. You're turning any
you just drive up with an engine taking...
like Skurg, or what is it, Nim?
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like an MC-80 with engine techs just boosts up to you and drops 4 B-wings off that shoot you.
Drops Nim.
Kian.
And 2 B-wings or something like that. And then Yavaris goes... Yavaris dumps a... and then
just 2 VCXs fly up. So Yavaris can remote...
Yavaris is flying along the baseline.
What's the Adar Talon with Adar Talon over the MC-80? No. So yeah, the Yavaris...
It's a bit of a one-trick list, that, but I built that list, and it was...
And then all your friends...
I didn't play with it.
Hated you.
But I looked at it and just thought, this is... A, it's just one-trick pony, and B, there's so many things that can go wrong with that trick.
I'm waiting to try it. I really want to give it a shot.
MC-80 right in front of all their stuff as well.
Yeah, and you're having to have enough intel following up behind them.
Anyway,
we're not talking about that card because we don't know how it works.
3. So
maybe next time
we've got expanded hangar bays.
We all agreed expanded hangar bays was good. Which is 5 points. Comes with Wave 1 stuff.
Comes with loads,
victories, I think. Yeah, it comes in the core set and the victory. Yeah. And it gives you +1 squadron value, which is great because it affects your base squadron value.
Yeah.
So that means things like fighter coordination teams, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
They only trigger off your base value, which this increases.
The one that has the dice as well.
There's another one.
So that's 5 points.
5 points, basically. And it combos well with flight controllers.
Yeah.
So flight controllers, obviously...
the main reason it makes it good is because you're looking for that big alpha strike, lots of squadron stuff to go first, kill out their squadrons or cripple a ship. And
exactly.
That difference between your ISD with 4 and 5, or 6 with the token, is actually that extra squadron, especially when you're talking like a bomber... With bomber command center, like 2, 3,
definitely
extra crit, it makes a big difference before they get a chance to respond.
It is the best offensive one, I think, by far.
You see it when you really see consistently. You used to see a lot of boosted comms, but I think that's
very good.
I think it's getting phased out now. Relays in.
Relay is just. I think they'll do something in the FAQ for relay. I kind of think relay should still be that it needs to be in range. I don't think it can relay
anywhere on the board.
That just seems broken, and I don't think that's what
the way it is, man. That's what they wrote.
It just makes sense that you're relaying from your range.
I played a guy in the regionals who thought it was it just extended the range from the ship.
Yeah, so you had to be in range of the lambda, and then the lambda extended your range. That makes perfect sense to me.
It's still but it isn't the way it's written.
That would still be great, but flotillas just activating ships when they're the other side of the board.
It's a bit grim. Yeah,
yeah, I do hate that.
But that's the way
flotilla flying away from the battle, commanding squadrons remotely.
You can only do what you've got to work with, can't you?
Them's the rules.
I mean, you can go to a tournament and you could be principled and say, "I'm playing the fluff." Good, you just lost. But yeah, boosted comms. Let's talk about that one.
So that was when you do a squadron command, you may activate friendly squadrons at long range instead of up to medium range. So it gives you like an extra 2 or 3 inches on your squadron command, which is great.
Until relay came out.
Until relay kind of replaced it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still good. Like if you don't want to take relay, then it's still a good card. I mean, my super boring tournament winning list still uses boosted comms instead of relay. Still has a place.
Yeah, and that's what another thing that. That's a good example of using expanded hangar bay was your super good choice because you get that six jump. Like you can go, I'll go first, and my first activation is an ISD and 6
squadrons.
So it's like
200, 300, 200 to 250 points all activating in one go.
Yeah. So you can hit something and it doesn't hit you back.
So you either hit something with 6 bombers, or use your flight controllers, activate 6 TIE fighters with flight controllers to just hit like a ton of bricks.
Kill all their fighters.
It's really strong.
So the other stuff we had was...
There is another card that replaces that, by the way, boosted comms. There's the one that lets you activate after you move, which is also...
That's true. That has kind of replaced the boosted comms as well.
Yeah, good point. That's in the support teams, which we'll come to next.
No, that's an officer slot.
Oh, is it?
There's officer.
The one that's...
Again, it'll be next week anyway. Or, we don't think I have officer on it, but yeah, we can chuck it.
Yeah. So we had quad laser... I think we...
Don't use it often at the moment, but I think it could be strong.
There's one major problem with quad laser turrets that stops me ever wanting to use it. It's Roma.
Yeah.
So read the card.
Quad laser turrets are 5 points. While defending at distance 1, if the attacker is a squadron, you have counter 1. So you get basically a free blue dice against every fighter that attacks you, unless they're using Roma, and then you don't.
See, I still think
he could use Roma if he happened to be close. He'll just move away.
Yeah, he'll just move away and shoot you, which is so frustrating. So that's half of the fighter lists you're going to be against. Are going to totally ignore that card.
But you can kill Reimer.
Counter one's only 50-50, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
But when you add that with the officer, you get an extra dice.
Yeah, with Callus.
You get an extra
I think it could work. The build I want to try out is the point defense reroute and the quad laser.
I tested it last week. That's what I tested against Ben. And it did. It didn't really attack me with squadrons. Right. So I was like...
Well, that's the other thing. If you load something up with this, then they can choose to shoot the thing that doesn't have this.
Yeah.
Which, maybe that's what you want.
But then I forced it. I threw it at the squadrons. And that works really well. You're putting out so much damage to the squadrons.
The point defense reroute is when shooting at a squadron at close range, you may reroll your crits.
Yeah.
Which is no good on black dice, but pretty good on blue dice.
I guess it's great in some scenarios, but I'd like to test it against rebel bombers. The problem I have
to be in close.
Could they have to be in close? But the difficulty I have is a Skurg or a B-wing is shooting you with a bomber command centre and probably towing fire. What's its average damage output?
Yeah, I mean, you've got
three.
Even an ISD's only surviving 2 turns of that.
It's like about two between 2 and 3 on its 2 dice. They have a black and a blue dice. The average damage output with rerolls is probably between 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You're doing 0.5 back per shot.
I think if you've got enough squadrons to cover you
because
as well.
you've got half a chance of getting.
But then I guess the theory is that when you're going for anti-squadrons with ships, you've got to mass it. You've got to use your quads are doing a bit of damage to everyone that attacks you. Then your own anti-squadron's doing a bit of damage to everyone. Then Mauler comes in and does a bit of damage to everyone.
You can thin them down,
and eventually they all die at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good point. The number of times you see squadron swarms at the end of the game and they're all on 2 health or something.
Yeah, especially with Biggs being around. That's going to be even worse for that kind of thing.
So it's something we'd like to try out. But actually we should... I think that was probably more the honourable mention because I think we actually more voted tractor beams into the top 3.
I'd like to point out I only voted for expanded hangar bays and refused to give a place 2 and 3 because I hate them all.
But you use boosted comms. You say you like boosted comms in your list. You prefer it to reload.
I only put tractor beams down because it was just like...
I'll make the
best
case
of the bad ones.
So you read it out then and I'll make a case.
Yeah, they're a modification. They're 6 points. When you activate, you may exhaust this card to choose an enemy ship of your size class or smaller at distance 1 to 5. That ship must spend a navigate token or reduce its speed by 1 to a minimum of 1. Now, before we get into this, I'm just going to point out that this has been FAQ'd because it's kind of stated as if you have a choice whether to lose the token or lose the speed, but you don't. You must lose the token, and if you don't have a token, then you lose the speed.
Yeah,
because there's some ambiguity in that card.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think this is in the category of it's a must include. I think you have to build something around it.
You have to build your whole fleet strategy around
I do. Yeah. Well, the reason I think I think you can actually get this in as a chuck it on something is because of flotillas and because most stuff is small base. Most good stuff that's quick is small base.
Demolisher, MC30s.
So exactly. So you put it on a flotilla and then it's when you activate.
Yeah.
So you can take the nav token off Demolisher, which if it has, they're probably spamming navs, but if you've managed to slice Demolisher as well, you can stop it from engine teching.
You
can.
I have tried this and it did work very well.
And you can do it with. So in our Corellian conflict list, I got 3 flotillas, all with
tractor beams.
Well,
that's the thing. You kind of have to mass them to have any effect.
Yes, that is true. But yeah, you can. So you've got Demolisher, you've got Admonition and MC30s. You've got Yavaris. You've got
a TRC or just any Corvettes, but they generally all have TRCs. You've now got Architens as well.
Yeah.
People have Raiders. There's so much stuff.
There's a lot of
small
targets.
based. I really
one problem
like
I have is they've got to be in range when you activate.
Yes.
So if you're going first, they're out of your range, then they drive in at speed 3 or 4. And you haven't had a chance
you can
to
stop them from
attract
getting
people.
away. It's true.
It's more of a stop them getting away than a stop them getting to you.
Yeah, although I do like the Minister Tour, that Flotilla build. It's Flotilla with Minister Tour ECMs, and Slicer Tools, and its suppressor.
It's like 50 points.
It's expensive. But you basically can't die unless you absolutely hammer it with about 3 or 4 activations.
Yeah.
And it takes the top dial off, it takes you down a speed, and it takes your defense token exhausted as well.
Oh my god,
it's a bit of a hunter. It's a bit of a hunter.
Jerk is on to you, coming in, tickling you.
I don't want to oversell them. This is not an essential upgrade, but I think they do have a place in the meta where people like to fly in with like demo or admonition,
and get out.
hit you and then get out.
Yeah.
If you have a little Gazanti that's only sitting there with CommsNet anyway, chuck one of these on if you've got the points, and then when their thing comes into the side of your ISD or your whatever and tries to run away, you can have a go, and you can even put one on your ISD as well, and you can you can slow it down.
Actually, because that could be the difference between getting 100 points and not getting 100 points.
Times, admonition gets away on 1 health or 1 shield.
Yeah.
I've got a bomber that can't chase it because it's going at speed 4, and my bomber can only do speed 3. So I know what you're saying. It's not a stellar upgrade, and the thing that makes, because it's a picture and obviously it's the iconic is Tantive 4 getting swallowed up in the first 2 minutes of the original trilogy. You think, and because of the size dependency, you think I should put this on a big ship. But I actually think if you spam them on little ships,
I think
you can get
flotillas are probably the comeback for the tractor beam. I remember when they first came out, everyone thought they were going to save the victory, but they didn't.
They did not. The new captain, the new general, or whatever is
Gerard.
He's doing all right. They are better.
We'll get to victories when we talk about the Imperial ships. I've got big opinions on those. But I tractor beams, I think it's cool. And what do you get those in?
You get them in ISDs and Home Ones, I believe. Yeah, that's right.
Big ships. All right, are we done on offensives? Let's move to weapons teams.
Right, as I like to call it, the gunnery team slot.
Yeah. So I put gunnery teams highest
Ordnance
here,
expert slot.
Ordnance experts are probably the biggest impact card now.
Definitely.
Gunnery teams, I think back in Wave 2 were the best. I think, and I still like gunnery teams, especially because of the squadron thing. Because if you fly all your squadrons in the arc that they want to shoot at with the ships.
So let me read this out. Gunnery team, 7 points. You can attack from the same hull zone more than once per activation. That hull zone cannot target the same ship or same squadron more than once during that activation. So basically, it's giving you your big broadside or your big front arc, whatever is your powerful one. You can shoot at 2 separate ships, or you can shoot at all the squadrons and a ship.
It's a must-have on ISDs, really.
It's kind of, the only time you wouldn't take it is if you're really, really hoping that they'll pick advanced gunnery. Because the FAQ, do you want to explain that one?
So the FAQ says that, because I think it's the wording on gunnery team, it says that hull zone cannot target the same ship. That overrides, like a cannot overrides a can, so that cannot overrides the advanced gunnery text, which says you can shoot the same ship twice.
So if you have a gunnery team, you cannot really benefit from the advanced gunnery objective.
I think you can give it to them.
You can.
It does nothing.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It just makes you double victory points.
Yeah, which is not great for your own, and you're going second as well. It's not great for your objective.
That's
7 points. 7 points.
So these are obviously great on assault frigates, ISDs.
Not many rebel ships have.
Not many rebel ships have that.
Because the MC-80 doesn't get it.
Yeah. Oh, the Liberty, of course.
Good,
Yeah.
With that. In fact, that's almost essential on the Liberty, isn't it? That
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, don't leave home without it.
Because you need to, for the points you're
You need to
investing,
get the value out of that
you need
front
to get 2
arc.
shots a turn.
And because one of the Liberty gets 2 black dice AA, so being able to AA out the front and shoot your big 6 dice, 7 dice.
Now that's a ship. It's a shame it doesn't have Flechette.
And what does true? What does gunnery teams come with? Do we?
I've got a lot of things. It comes with a lot of things. Hang on, let me think. I've got 3 of them. So you definitely get one in the core set. You definitely get one with the Victory.
Yeah.
And you might, I guess it's the ISD.
Yeah. And you probably only need. You probably need 2 anyway. You'd never have more than 2.
I think. If you were doing like a 3 assault frigate Akbar list.
That's a fair point. Yeah, so I think that was the best, but probably not anymore. It's probably
Well, Ordnance
the other
Experts is
twos.
great for. It's the other one we consider might be number one, Ordnance Experts, because it's only 4 points and it lets you re-roll any number of black dice, which is so reliable. And if you have black dice, you want this upgrade.
You want the crits. The thing with the black dice is you probably got APTs or something else that needs the crits. You want the crits. If you don't get a crit, like the difference between getting that crit and not getting that crit is what we worked out. It was like two damage effectively that's not braceable, that goes through shields or whatever it is.
Exactly. And for only 4 points, why wouldn't
Crazy
you?
not to have.
Just like we've been saying, anything that makes your ships more reliable is good.
I think fire control teams I really would like to use, but without the reroll,
that's
it's
probably
just not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Basically, any other upgrade you take in this slot is competing against either gunnery teams or ordnance experts, depending on what your ship's up to.
But there is a third. Which
So the
is
third
very
one, which
good
we use a
because
lot
it's
now,
specific for ships.
flight controllers.
Yeah,
it's one of the few ship upgrades that makes your fighters better. Only comes in the VSD pack, so people generally don't have a lot of this card. When you activate squadrons, the anti-squadron armament of each squadron you activate is increased by 1 blue for this activation. So it's great.
And you have to spend either. I mean, I don't know how you could do it otherwise, but that squadron symbol on it means you have to spend a token or an order.
Yeah. Although I have no idea how else you would activate.
Yeah,
a squadron.
exactly. Yeah, but it's.
I think it's to stop you trying to do it twice, like once with a token, once with a. I don't know. Anyway,
It's super strong.
So yeah, if you've got like a big carrier with like 3, 4, 5, or 6 squadron activations, getting that many extra blue dice, it's really solid.
It makes such a difference because blue dice are better the more you have of them when you're talking about defense tokens against squadrons and so on. Because the more, if you have 2 blue dice and you get 1 accuracy and 1 hit, it's like great. The accuracy probably isn't doing anything for you if it's a brace. You know, it's completely pointless against 2 braces. But if you get 3 hits and 2 accuracies there, you can then take out the braces. That's an extra point of damage.
And there's so many things like
take the scatters
obviously,
out.
it really helps you against scatter races because more dice, more chance of accuracying that scatter. Another thing is if you do, quite often you're looking at doing 1 or 2 damage with your blue dice. You're rolling your 3 or your 4 blue dice. You're going to get 1 or 2 damage. Getting that third damage is really important because it one-shots ties, which is great, but also when they come to brace it, because all aces have 2 braces, they're going to brace it down to 1 damage.
Or a brace and a scatter.
So turning that 2 damage, turning your 2 hits into 3 hits is doubling your damage output against an ace. It's going from 1 damage up to 2 damage.
Which, if you multiply that over the time, is halving the amount of time to kill them.
Yeah, exactly. So get that extra blue dice actually. Although it sounds like I'm only getting 25% more firepower onto my X-Wing, actually you're potentially doubling their damage.
Yeah. And if you're halving the time to kill them, think how much more turns you have. You know, like
just freeing them up to carry on shooting ships.
I think almost every list I've taken recently has had flight controllers.
And like you say, if you get that on your Alpha Strike, which is your big ship with your expanded hangar bays and your token and everything, you're getting that 6 times or 5 times. Massive Alpha Strike, kill all their nasty stuff or kill their intel, whatever you need to do, kill their escorts. You're controlling.
Focus down their big threat.
You're controlling the battle. Then you're controlling the fighter battle, and
that's it.
I think it's really strong. Is there an honourable mention in this category? I would make a case for Ruthless Strategist as a kind of not good, but like maybe there's a case. We've tried it.
We've tried it a bit. There's definitely a case for using it on like a Gladiator 2 with 2 blue dice because it gets to shoot twice. So theoretically, you drive something big and tough in, you shoot out the side for 2 blue dice and hit everyone for 1 with Ruthless, then you drive around, you shoot out the front with 2 blue dice, and then hit everyone with Ruthless again, and then you drop Mauler in, and you just do this big AoE splash where basically everyone's taking guaranteed damage. In theory, it can wipe out a whole bomber wing, but...
Pulled it off once.
It's so hard to pull off.
When I used it against you, Ben, I think I did it amazing, and I one-shotted Jan, or 2-shotted Jan, I think, with it. But then did nothing else. And it was it's good to kill Jan, but
then you've used it like an 80 or 90 point ship to do that, haven't you?
Exactly, yeah. It's like...
So I should point out for anyone who is not familiar, the Ruthless Strategist is when attacking a squadron, you may deal a damage to a friendly squadron engaged with it to deal 1 damage to the defender. So you deal yourself extra damage to deal the enemy extra damage.
The thing I like about it is it bypasses the tokens.
It does. It bypasses scatter, it bypasses escort.
Yeah. And it's not from an attack, so you can't trigger counter off it or anything
Biggs
like
doesn't,
Biggs doesn't
trigger off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really good against things like Biggs and Jan. And Gallant Haven.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll be seeing more of it, because Gallant Haven's had a massive comeback.
I think it's got potential with the strategists, but you do need to build a list around it. It's not it's not an upgrade like XO7s or something that you just go,
Chuck it
oh,
on.
I've got some points, I'll chuck it on. You have to have a plan.
But like
You
I
have
said,
to have a
Gladiator's
plan.
where it works best. And do you want to be using Demolisher for anti-squadron?
It's
it
good.
it is good.
The thing with Demolisher is often it goes in, it does a couple of rounds on a ship, and then it Foxtrot Oscars. But I like. It got used against me, and I used it in a few games as well, which is a double blue Gladiator. It comes in, it mauls your fighter screen first, then it goes after a ship.
Yeah.
And you haven't lost anything because you're still getting the ship activation that you would have got, but you're just getting that interim. If they come in with a fighter screen heavy on you to try and alpha your fighters, you're getting a couple of shots on theirs, which thins them out, boosts you. So it's cool. I like how the Gladiator's gone from everybody took the 56 point GSD.
Yeah, now there's a reason to take
because it was
those
cheaper.
two.
You just get the points,
Yeah.
but
Chuck
now lots of
Callus on
people
as well,
take the blue version, the double blue.
The double blue AA, and also because it's got red out the side, it can benefit from Jonas.
Yeah,
Quite
it's
nice.
made a massive difference there.
Right.
Is that it for what does Ruthless Strategist come with?
Ruthless Strategist comes with the Raider, I believe. No, I've only got one of them. So,
I can't remember.
It's Wave. Was it Wave 2?
Wave 2 must be the Star Destroyer.
ISD 1.
Must
That
be
would
the
make
ISD.
sense thematically, but not that ever is any
Because
indication.
I've got two Raiders, it's not a Raider thing.
You're probably not going to need more than one.
It didn't come with the Gladiator because this is definitely a newer card. Yeah, it must be the ISD.
Yeah.
We could look this up, but
It's on. There is a site.
There's a
that's very
website.
good for it. Yeah, I think it's the Armada Wiki shows you what comes in each pack or what.
I think
all the other way
Armada
around. If you
Warlords
pick
shows you as well.
pick the upgrade, and it will tell you which packs you can get it from. So, was there another one you wanted?
well, I just wanted to have a bit of a cry about fire control teams.
Okay.
It's such a
Bit of a moan.
It should be
bit
good.
of a moan because what it says is during the damage step you may exhaust this card to resolve one additional critical effect, but you cannot resolve the same critical effect twice. So that's cool because then you could stick on like an ion cannon and a turbo laser that both do crit stuff,
Or you could do APT.
or you could do APT
Twice.
when it says you can't
No,
do it
not-
twice.
No, sorry, you could do it and then do a normal crit as well.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah,
Sorry,
give it two crits.
to get like double.
So with Dodana, that would be
But
really strong.
the problem
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's competing with ordnance experts.
yeah, which you need to get.
Which you need
crits
to
in
get
the
to
first
crits.
place.
So you can't combine it with anything black. Then they did an FAQ
So with
that says
Vader?
it doesn't work with the XX9 turbo lasers.
which is in contrast.
Although
to
it does
the
say on the
article.
website, yeah.
Yeah, I think basically they meant it to work, but they didn't realise the wording actually prohibits it from working.
Yeah.
So the XX9s are the first two hits you take this turn are dealt face up. So theoretically, Fire Control Team could trigger that and the vanilla crit for 3 face up damage in one
But
volley.
not.
But because of the precise wording of the cards, they
It just
actually counter each
duplicates.
other out and they don't.
Which just duplicates, isn't it? You get the first card is a crit twice.
And the first.
And the
yeah,
first
exactly.
card is a crit
So
again,
instead-
but it's already a crit, so it can't
So
be.
you
a
could
crit
do
again.
that and APTs though. That would be 3 crits.
But then if you've got APTs, you want the Ordnance Experts, not
Exactly,
the Fire Control
yeah.
Team.
Yeah,
Um,
unless you could do Screed, maybe.
and that's
Would
the
that
problem.
work?
That's really
maybe?
the
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah,
Have
if
a
you had
go. I'd
Screed
like to
and
see
Fire
that
Control
tried.
Teams.
Have
That would be
Screed and
quite strong.
Screed and Fire Control teams.
Problem with Screed has 2 problems there though. One
It
is
costs you a
that
die.
you can only use him for one of your shots.
Yeah,
And the other one is it costs you a die. So if you can Ordnance Expert it off naturally, you do more total damage.
No,
And-
Vader, they let you reroll, so that's doing the same task as Ordnance.
Yeah, you could try it with Vader.
yeah. But you're spending a defense token, and Gladiator does not have those to spare.
No.
It needs all of
I
those.
don't know. It's just it's a bit of
probably
a
not that
greedy.
vague.
It's a greedy
It's
card,
It's,
isn't it?
it's good, but it's one of those things. It's good. There's lots of stuff in any game. In this game, it's good, but it's just not as good as the
And that's
alternatives.
the alternative. I mean, I would love to see like Fire Control Teams with Dodonna and XX9s, just all that
I
kind of
might
stuff.
try it in casual.
But yeah,
Just
it's
throw out 3
the competition is
pickable
too fierce.
crits.
Anything that wants,
Yeah.
or either a ship wants Ordnance Experts or it wants Gunnery Teams, and Fire Control Teams just doesn't
Or
compete
flight,
with either of those
if it's
slots.
a carrier, flight control.
Exactly, that's it. You got those the big 3. If you got red dice, you want Gunnery Teams. If you got black dice, you want Ordnance
There aren't any
Experts.
categories of
This should have been
Shit,
in
really.
that the other
Fire
category.
Control
Yeah.
Team,
Yeah.
should be in a different
a
slot.
support.
The support one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of a weapon. Thematically, it's a weapons team.
Yeah,
isn't
I'll make it an
It's
officer
still a
then or
support
something.
weapons
Like,
team.
But yeah, it just doesn't. Other stuff is too good.
yeah,
Unless at some point down the line you can
Maybe if
have
it was
2 of
maybe if
those.
it was
in one
like
of them.
a 0.
yeah. Maybe
cost.
there'd be a ship with 2 slots.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be good.
Or if it was one of those like they do in X-Wing, where it like makes you cheaper, or it's 0 points, so you just go, "Wow,
Even if it was 0 points, I don't
you
think
still have
I'd
the
use it.
honest X-Men."
I think a double
Yeah, true,
2,
true.
you definitely would take it though.
Yeah.
So maybe they bring out someone that adds an extra slot like that on.
Yeah, well, you know, like the ISD one's got 2 offensive retrofit slots. The MC8 command carrier's got 2 defensive retrofit slots, so the precedent's there. The Liberty's got 2 turbo laser slots. There's no reason why you couldn't do it.
Conceptually, what is that shit? It's just a massive,
Just decks of
bristling
gunners.
with missiles. There's no lasers on it. It's just loads of missile ports, loads of torpedo tubes, just lots of
two double
missile
ordnance.
batteries.
That would be disgusting.
But it would have to have something like if you
can't take the same upgrade twice.
if you hit the
No, but I mean, like, you can have ACM and ATP.
Oh, jeez.
if it would actually just die
And fire control teams
And fire
and
control
both special
team on that.
missiles. Oh my god.
But it should have a special rule, like if you get a crit on it, it just dies.
Just ammo
you hit,
explosion.
you just hit the armory where all the missiles are.
That'd be
The
quite
whole
fun.
thing dissolves.
Frightening.
Right.
Great. So while we were doing that, I was thinking of actually some common ships where you can get a lot of these upgrades. So if you've got a limited budget, or if you're just starting out and you want to pick them up,
where to get the good cards.
what's the best way of maximising getting
They've
all
spread
these
them
good
out.
cards?
I mean, basically, most of the cards you get in most places, but then there's a couple of cards that are hard to get hold of, and they're not always in ships you want.
I mean, you want the core. If you're going to have the core set because you need that for the damage
Yeah,
die and
and
that.
the
You're going to have
maneuver
that
tools and
anyway.
all that stuff.
The VSD seem to come up quite a lot.
Well, VSD, you get Motti. If you only
Yeah.
get Motti,
Yeah.
obviously a great Imperial Commander. You get flight controllers,
Yeah,
which is great. And you get gunnery teams.
yeah.
great.
So
But
even
you're
if
probably
you're
never
a
going to
rebel
use
player,
those two.
no, not on the VSD. But even if you're a rebel player, getting the VSD is potentially worth it. I mean, it's
Just
more
for flight
worth
controllers, really.
it for Imperial, obviously, because
Yeah,
you get the
much more.
ship.
Yeah.
But
And the Admiral.
yeah.
They were saying that there's probably like a £30 ship just for some cards
But
here.
VSDs, like a lot got ordered in the early, so you might
You might
get
sell them on
lucky.
Amazon cheap.
You might get some cheap
Yeah.
ones from someone who's got too much stock. And then the other one was the MC30.
Yeah, but
Obviously, if you're a rebel player, you're going to get that
You're gonna
anyway,
want it.
no brainer.
Yeah.
But as an Imperial player, actually getting the MC30.
Although Imperials don't use
We could
TRCs
suggest
so
just
much.
go and do the tournament this coming
But you
Summer
want the
kit.
APTs.
You want the APT.
or first Q kit, isn't it?
Sorry?
Q1 kit?
Yeah.
Just do that.
Or just
Save
do the
yourself
Q1
a-
kit and get the
Yeah.
turbo laser reroute circuit. And I think you can get the XI7s and leading shots. I think you can get them for £4 or £5 because they're specials. There's lots of them.
Yeah, people stick them on eBay.
You can get them for £4 or £5 on eBay. I think.
Yeah, which is cheaper than buying the ship. I
Exactly.
suppose. Like,
I
it's
mean,
cheaper to buy an XI7 than a Neb B.
And if you've got the start set, you've already got one Neb B. Unless you're
enough.
going to do that like weird list, which is like the Liberty and loads of Neb Bs. You only ever want one Neb B, so I guess you want to buy it for the Yavaris title. But if you're an Imperial player,
Do you not get your virus in the core set?
maybe you do.
I don't think so.
No, you're right. Yeah, shit. They put the best title in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're an Imperial player and you don't want it for Yavaris,
Yeah.
then just buy
the alternate
buy an
R1s.
XI7
I would say
on
if you're a
eBay.
rebel player, you want your virus guaranteed.
Oh yeah, well it depends.
Well, I think you want to
Depends
try.
if
I think you always want to
Well,
have
you
that
wanna try
option.
it.
Playing with it makes you better against fighting against it.
Yeah, and,
Without doubt.
and you lose a little sliver of your soul every time you
You
play
get
it. A little piece of you dies inside.
There are far worse lists than your virus lists.
Wow. I wouldn't say far worse.
Demolisher's pretty high. Fireball,
It's frustrating.
Rhymeable even, sorry.
There's lots of strong stuff. None of it's
Yeah,
worse.
yeah, it's good. There's good place at the moment. Lots of different stuff. So, I guess in summary, there is a bit of a gulf, I think, in Armada at the moment in terms of tournament. Just
I
because
think
the
unfortunately
points
basically
efficiency
half of the upgrades in every slot
are pretty
just
bad.
don't compete with the other half. Like they're good upgrades, they do useful things.
In their
but
own
they,
right, they're okay.
They
have
just
to build
don't
around
compare
them.
to something else in the same slot.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, but hopefully we've given you a flavour of what's good in those categories and giving you some starting points, some ideas for lists if you weren't sure. Hopefully you know why these things are good now and what ships they go on, and if you've got a limited budget you can prioritise what you want to pick up, and also you won't be surprised to see them if you see what they are and what they do.
Yeah.
You won't be taken off guard.
But also, like, don't feel bad, man. Like, if you're an Imperial player and you don't want to buy an MC30, don't worry about it. Just use the advanced concussion missiles
Yeah.
because they are still good.
Yeah,
Like,
Definitely.
don't feel like that you're going to lose all your games because your missiles cost 2 points more.
yeah. And also,
Like-
this is not set in stone. Like people in games all the time pull good stuff out that wasn't good. People didn't think
Oh,
was
yeah,
good. You know,
definitely.
like
Try
if
something
you've got some
weird.
ideas, try it and test
Yeah.
it.
But like Chris was saying, he'd
let us know.
try and make the tractor beams work.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
just give it a go.
But this is still useful information because if you're trying to build a list that's going to be good, you need to be able to cope with all of this stuff.
Well, you need to
Stuff
understand, these is what everyone else will be using.
Exactly.
So
you're going to see all this
You're gonna
stuff.
I would
see
say it's the
common.
meta, but it's just
No,
it's
because
the flavour at the moment.
Well, all those
the
you'll
flavour.
see if you play 3 games in a day, you will see most of that stuff in
definitely.
a day, or 4 games, 5 games at a tournament.
and mainly
You'll see
because
most
it's
of that.
reliable and people want reliability.
And it's
Damage
a good point.
rerolls, yeah.
Good points efficiency.
Hmm.
Good point. Yeah, and likewise, if you have any thoughts on that, or you think we missed something, you want to feed something back, do email us in and let us know. We'll move on to the other ones next time, but we can revisit any of these topics that we think are particularly worthwhile.
Yeah, at some point we should probably go over after the cards. We'll go over the ships.
Yep, we'll do that. So next time we'll do the other 5 slots. Then we'll do rebel specific and imperial specific segments, and then we'll probably do the ships as well. Whether or not we get time to do them in the same episode, we'll see how long it takes.
We can talk about like how our Carillion campaign's gone, and like you guys already talked about the regionals, didn't you?
Yes, we did a regional.
yes.
Did you want to add anything on that, Ben? We
No.
kind of.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys
Game
covered it.
starts, pretty much.
I think
is,
by 4 games I really enjoyed, and then by the 5th game I was tired and
we're old.
made some bad moves and wanted to go home and go to bed.
I think it's fine at a convention if you're giving the weekend up and you said like you've got the pass for the weekend from your partner or family or whatever or work or whatever it is you need. You've got the time to go. You can spend the time. You're there. You're invested. You know you're gonna have a late night anyway because you might step in the bar afterwards or whatever. But if it's a 1-day thing and you've got a family to get back to and you've got to be up early to go to work,
I don't even think they're doing 5, are they?
It's just
Is it just
it's
4?
just over the top 5.
I think it's 4 games and then
Expo.
3.
4 and 3, I think it is.
So
Yeah,
they even know us, they don't want to do 5
Friday
games.
and Saturday. 5's
Makes
just
sense.
a bit much, but yeah, you. I think we probably maybe a sore point for you there, Ben, because you probably should have gone all the way and won that, and then.
Well, I don't know. The other guys played well. They had good lists. They played well, and in that last game, he played better than I did. So can't argue with him.
Didn't you have a lot of dice on bigs?
Yeah, just
Your luck ran out.
Sometimes
Bigs is just so hard to.
Biggs is tough, but I played it all wrong. So whether I
took
killed Biggs or not with that Alpha Strike is kind of irrelevant because my whole strategy was wrong.
You took a big risk.
Well, yeah. For some reason, I decided I wanted to go big. I wanted to because the idea. Oh well, I better get into this. Right. So my list it was Star Destroyer, Star Destroyer with 4 Gazontis, 6 bombers, 6 TIE fighters, roughly. He had an MC-80, a Yavaris, 2 transports, and my list was designed perfectly to defeat that list because Rikki had been winning tournaments for that list. And I was like, this is what beats it.
That's the thing why you should be disappointed because you build that list specifically to take.
I
that
haven't
list.
played against that list in months
To be
and
fair,
months and months.
I said this last time. Jamie is because I know him from War Machine days. He is a fantastic player.
Yeah,
he's
he
an
played great.
unbelievably good player.
But I should have been way more cautious because the whole plan to defeat that list is 6 bombers with 2 bomber command centres, on average, kill an FB from the side in 1 turn. And that's the whole point that list is built around.
What was his general? Was it Rikki?
No, he had Dodonna.
Dodonna.
But the reason I built that list was to fight Rikki was that basically you do it as your last activation, you send 6 bombers into the side of Yavaris and kill it, and then Yavaris has never double tapped anything. But in this game, for some reason I decided I needed to go big and tried to kill the MC-80 instead. And I just drove my Star Destroyer at it.
And you're thinking it's almost like you'd played 4 games before or something. Your brain was fried.
I should have just sniped off Yavaris, had a fighter skirmish. Neither of our big ships would have died.
Yeah. You'd have got a 7-4.
And I've got to got a 6 or a 7. Yeah.
I think when you're that tired though, that's because I did the same thing. I wanted to get kills. I wanted to
take a
do a lot of
risk.
damage. Why? I didn't even need to do it. Why would I waste?
No, I mean, who knows? If I'd got I still probably wouldn't have won the tournament. I think the guy who won it won his last game by quite a lot.
What did you lose by? Yeah, he's playing Rikki. He thrashed Rikki. He just thrashed me. He just thrashed me, and then he thrashed you.
I only lost. What I was like 4.
I can't
Was
remember.
it 7-4?
Okay.
It was.
I can't remember the exact points. I think I probably would have ended up coming 2nd instead of 4th if I'd done that.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't really make any difference, does it?
No.
So yeah, that's it.
Cool. On to the Q1 kit, which will hopefully
too old
be...
for 5 games.
The Q1 is like, do we want
Q1 should be casual.
I'm not taking
a crummy
that
list. I'm
same
taking a jank list.
I'm taking my double
Just some
MC8s.
fun. Yeah, nice. Nice.
Double dildos. That's what we're calling it.
Are we talking about our list now?
That's a bit of pain there, isn't it? With all the like ridges on it and
Yeah, ribs for your pleasure.
Ouch.
See along that little conning tower sticking out the top half.
Oh, I don't know. It's a horrible list. It's not even a fun
this
list.
conversation's descended.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the campaign briefly then?
Well, we're about to fight the final battle, so we don't know who's won yet.
Yeah,
But,
so I guess we don't want to spend too long on the Carillion campaign. Other podcasts have covered all the basic rules and so on, and so you can get good sources on that elsewhere and where you get it. I guess we've played six of us. We've played 3 Rebels, 3 Imperial lists, and we've
done
played
3 rounds.
3 rounds. Yeah. What do you?
No, 4 rounds. Haven't we? No, 3.
Well,
Three
yeah,
rounds.
3 I think because I played all you guys once.
Yeah.
So we won't go through the fleets because that's
I think there needs to
really
be
boring.
What
but
we could say is that there's
the admirals are. I'm playing Imperials. I've got Ozzel and I've got Matt Such with.
Jerjerod,
and Vader as well.
Jerry, as we call him.
Tian.
And Vader. So it's Vader, Ozzel, and Jerry against Maydeen, Mothma, and Kraken.
Yeah.
So it's all mobile generals, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah.
All the
We didn't go with any of the real.
Well, we wanted to
horrible
avoid
ones.
Akbar and Moti and Dodonna, all the ones who play in tournaments all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
We wanted to do something different. So
we didn't take Reimer. You guys didn't take Jan.
Yeah, exactly. We just left all the
Reimer's
stuff
in. Someone's got Reimer
And
now.
Ben's bought it
got
because
Reimer.
he's got wrecked twice and
Yeah.
he's gone, I've had enough of getting
Everyone's
wrecked.
started off
I'm
fluffy.
bringing out Reimer.
We should say I don't know if there's a good enough catch-up mechanic. I think once you fall
Well, I think
behind,
we kind of fucked the guys over on the catch-up mechanic because the idea is if you fall behind, you become the attacker, and then out of 2 of your 3 games, you have the initiative. But what happened was we were the rebels, so we started with the initiative, and we did well, but they got one. We got more like money, and they got more victory points. So at the end of round 1, they were in the lead on points. We were in the lead in fleet size.
And we really
So in the
messed up
second
their
game,
fleets.
we were the attackers again, and we won those games, and we drew on victory points. And when you're drawn on victory points, rebels get it.
Yeah.
So we've had 3 rounds of always having the initiative, despite every round coming off on the better side of the points killed and the refit points.
Yeah.
So every round we've had bigger fleets than them, and we've had more people attacking, which has been a huge advantage.
Yeah, it's because my attacks were getting 2 points. Yours were only getting like 1 point, say, or you were doing the resource. We did do the resource thing for the Imperials.
Yeah.
The problem I had when I did it is the other 2 fleets got absolutely butchered, and they needed all the bonus resource points
Just to repair them.
Repair
To
from
be fair, on the
scar.
first game, I don't think any of us really jumped out when we could have done.
I did.
I know you did when you
I
got
jumped
told
out
at the
turn
end.
4. Someone
when you
mentioned,
realised.
I was like, oh shit, I can retreat. I'm out
I
of
jumped
here.
out loads on my first game, but I didn't even remember. and Ben probably could have
I've
done as well.
enjoyed playing like stuff I didn't normally use. So I've got I've got Ozzel, which obviously I never really used him before, and he's not used much. And I've got all the bounty hunters as the squadrons.
Yeah, that's quite fun, isn't it? You never see
It's
them.
quite fun, and I've got I've got Gendon just to give me a bit of extra, like so I can double shoot with IG-88 or whatever.
I just went stupid there.
And just a few ships, and it's quite fun. But I had like such cagey games. Like my last game against Cook, which was he was running.
How long did that
Kraken.
go as well?
It was like a 4.5 hour game or something, 4 hour game.
Yeah. No, I played 2 games in the time it took.
Yeah, it was like over 4 hours because it was unbelievably tight and cagey. But it's difficult because you don't have initiative in, and people have built lists to go first or second. And
in the campaign, I think you can't build a list that needs to go first.
All of our
in the
lists were
campaign.
first. We wanted to be first,
And
weren't
the
they?
base defense thing is quite strong as well. When you're defending a base, you can pick like the 40 extra squadrons.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it makes it like not being able to pick, at least have some control as the first player.
Over what objective
Base
you fight.
defenses is hard. So I enjoyed it.
Different way of playing the game, isn't it?
Different way of playing the game, and I enjoyed it, but not as much.
I
as,
thought I was going to enjoy it more than I did.
Yeah, it got stale quick for me. It got stale quick, and like you say, it kind of we just got it got one sided quickly.
Well, we're the winning
Yeah.
side, and we're still getting a bit. It doesn't.
I'm not excited to fight another round. So the rebels are winning now, and we've decided to launch the final assault, which is just to finish the campaign.
And we want to see what it's like.
Because that final assault is meant to be for the people who are trailing to catch up.
Yeah,
But we're just like, fuck it, don't want to fight any more rounds. Let's just do this.
yeah, let's get it over with. I'm a bit disappointed in it, to be honest. And I don't know whether that's a reflection of the way we treated it, but I don't think, like you said, we steered away from the
From
good
the power
stuff.
builds.
We didn't have power builds. We took it casual, but it just got.
I don't know what. Maybe there's some
I don't know why.
house rules to add that might.
I think
add a
maybe
bit more.
if we did it again, people might need to be a bit less willing to get their stuff killed. Because I think Ben and Matt on your team lost a lot of stuff very quickly, and then they never got to develop their fleets because they were just constantly repairing.
True.
Maybe just playing a bit more cautiously would make it more fun. I don't know, but that doesn't sound like a fun game either. I don't know.
Well, the game I played against Matt Cook was a fun game, but it was like the 3 games I played were all been really cautious games. So our game, Ben, you jumped out. I think I'd killed a Corvette and a flotilla or something, and you jumped out because you couldn't kill any of my.
I got outmaneuvered pretty bad. I had a Liberty and an MC30 that were just deployed in the wrong place, and you manoeuvred around them. And I realised actually, it's turn 4. There's going to be this turn and 2 more turns of me getting shot in the back while I desperately try to turn around. I'm not going to kill anything. So
it was kind of a bit of a stale, rubbishy game. There was like two small ships died, and even though I won that, I didn't find it a massively satisfying game. And then our game, Rikki, like you just have five MC30s. Again, it was really cautious.
I jumped everything out before they died.
Really cautious. Everything. So I'd won, and then the only high.
But I didn't lose anything, which was
exactly. But
I did kill the gladiator. That was
I threw gladiator in for the last.
It's like the only way for me to kill it is to get the god roll of like double hit on every black. Boom, double hit every black.
Nice.
That was a fluky roll.
Yeah, fluffed it. Demo fluffed it, and then. They just really caged. And then against Matt, he had TRC Krakens, which was a bit saucy compared to the other.
It was the most tournament list of all our lists.
It was a bit tasty, and he only
standard Matt.
Yeah. It was a very close game. It was really good. I enjoyed it, but 4.5 hours, like I don't need that for an hour game. You know,
it's a bit much, isn't it?
It was so cagey, and it was. So,
it looks good.
It was a
good game.
But I'd like to play it again, but not anytime soon. I think maybe do it in a year or something.
There's better ways to explore different things, aren't there? Just casual.
I'm looking forward to the last game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this big.
It'll be a laugh.
It's going to take all day.
Yeah.
And 1500's again. 1500. That's.
I think it'll be fun, but I'm not looking forward to how long it's going to take because I would rather play 3 different games, 3 different lists than. Or play the big game.
Stuff could get wiped out fast.
I'd rather play in that time. I'd rather play a game of Armada and then play some Rebellion or some Destiny or something. Play something else to mix it up.
Because in that big game, it was going to look cool, and you're going to have some stories to tell.
There's so much downtime.
There's going to be a lot of standing around waiting for your turn.
I know.
Like a shitload of waiting around.
You almost want to play like simultaneous chess.
Yeah.
Just have like individual Destiny games going on in the background, so that when it's not your activation,
you can do that. Actually,
you can just pop over, do a couple of turns of Destiny, and then pop. As long as you have like a player marker, so you remember whose go it is, or something like that. I don't know.
I think because there'll be discussion. I think you'll be talking with your teammates.
But that'll make it take even longer.
Well, it will
because it'll be like, shall I move this one or this one? Yeah. Let's have a 10-minute conversation.
That the other team can overhear and see what
exactly.
But you guys have to leave the room while we.
So we're being a bit negative about it here, and other sources have given it like unmitigatedly glowing reviews. The concepts sound cool. All the mechanics sound cool, and it's better balanced than things like back in the day Necromunda or Blood Bowl, where stuff just got really good really quick and other stuff got bad. Like it's got a much better balance than that. There's not too much paperwork. It's a very streamlined campaign system, but it suffers from all of them in that it just gets stale if you don't win quick. And if you're using the same thing week in, week out, and you're like us, we like trying new things.
That's the thing for me.
Just
adding like 30 extra points is fun, like tweaking your list, but I've got so many new lists I want to try out.
And playing as part of a longer thing is cool because you're like, I need to not lose this. But at the same time, sometimes you just want to, like I just wanted to chuck Demolisher in at the end, which I did. Yeah. But like if I'd been playing that properly to the campaign, we'd have just danced, and we did. Most of it, we just danced around each other. I might have clipped a TIE fighter off here and there, scraped a couple of shields or something, and then we all
jump out.
All jump out. It made
me laugh.
Sometimes Armada has that problem at tournaments anywhere when people don't properly engage.
Yeah, because they want to.
And the campaign does, unfortunately,
protect their
make that work.
I guess that's where we have strategic now in the game.
Yeah. To make people fight you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use his objectives to.
Goddamn strategic. That's worse than Intel. That's another discussion as well, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, that's for another time. Right, so
it's probably been long enough. Should we call it there?
Well, to end up, I thought we would just do a quick other stuff we've been playing that people might find interesting. So if you're done and you just want to hear about Armada, that's great. We'll see you next time. But we'll just have a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk about some other bits I've been playing stuff that you might enjoy. So we've been playing a bit of Imperial Soul recently, just in the campaign.
Really enjoying it.
Enjoying it.
Fun.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a. Again, I think it could get like stale if you get to like the 15th campaign game or something. But
Or you're killed on the first.
well,
second,
you
third
can't
case.
die.
But it's a lot
you only
quicker
ever
as well.
retire from the battlefield, and then you just reset
come
for the
back.
next time. It's cool.
And it only takes about an hour or hour and a half, doesn't it, to do one, which is quite fun.
Yeah, I think it's just like a bit of old like D&D or Dungeon Quest type thing, but with Star Wars and all the cool abilities and different characters and. Roleplay the Wookiee and
Those missions are tight as well.
User.
Oh my Force guy!
I'm one with the
He
Force.
is one with the Force.
Is one.
Oh, man.
Reroll.
I just had this one game where I must have rolled that like ignore all damage dice like 8 times in a row.
It was a 1 in 6.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He was one with the Force.
Yeah,
I'm
it's good
enjoying
fun.
my
It's good
guy.
banter.
My
It's good,
sniper.
good sort of team chat, and there's good storyline driving it. And you do side plots like we rescued my Wookiee's brother's life debt or whatever, and that was quite good fun. And,
So is there a side mission every time? I didn't know.
You alternate. You do a side mission, then a main
missions.
mission, and then a side
yeah,
mission.
so we can do your guys' side missions if they get drawn.
Yeah, we get
out of
like
the deck.
you deal some cards. Like we might go help
two.
Luke Skywalker do a thing, and then he'll come back to one of our missions to help us
Yeah,
out
we
later.
can bring him in.
It would have been nice when we had the
Inquisitor jumps us.
Oh man, although that was kind of like, oh my god, this feels kind of bullshit because he's so strong.
Yeah,
It did thematically feel
it?
quite right. Like this one Jedi was like holding up an entire battalion in one hallway.
Yeah, so
and then they just send in the Inquisitor to just like get him out of there. You can't argue with that.
I mean, he
scene.
just smashed the door down. He one-shotted the door.
Yeah.
All these guys have been pounding on it for turns and turns, and he just went chop straight through with a lightsaber.
I wish
it was cool.
I know I had to leave for that one, so there's always the next turn.
Yeah, that's it.
I do hope we play again soon now.
Yeah,
I know
definitely.
we haven't played Armada, I know.
In a while,
In a week.
I've been playing a lot of
We've got
Rebellion
the-
recently.
we've got to talk about- Yeah, you talk about that then.
So I played 2 games of Rebellion a couple of weeks ago, and I love it.
It's so
I
good,
love
isn't
it.
it? I played it.
I looked
We
at
should
it and I
get a game.
thought it was
Get a
going to be
game.
like, Risk with Star Wars.
Yeah,
but it's not at all. You basically fight like 3 battles all game. And the rest of it is all about just going off and doing sneaky missions and
It's so
doing
thematic,
like
isn't
character
it?
stuff.
So thematic.
Yeah, it's so thematic. It just every game feels like this is just an alternate reality Star Wars movie where different
other
people do
things
different
happen.
things.
Can't
Yeah.
explain. So the decks are stacked for events and stuff that happens. So like a game, one of the best games I played was Luke went to Dagobah and leveled up
Oh, nice.
into like Jedi Luke.
Yeah.
And then he came in. I built a Death Star, and it had a remote system. And little did I know it was on the next to the rebel base.
Oh,
so
shit.
Matt jumped straight in, and I thought the rebel base must be over there because he's really keen to kill this Death Star.
Yeah.
I then jumped it through the queue to get it active, and he was like, "Whoa, shit!" So he sent Luke in with his because he's Jedi Luke's the best character. He's got like 3 Admiral, 3 attack. Sent Luke in to just smash it.
Right.
Luke smashed it, but was sat there activated. Then I sent Palpatine in, captured him, and turned him to the dark side.
Oh my god!
It's so cool.
That is
so
really hard to pull off.
I had Jedi Luke because there were so many of my characters there.
Yeah, you just rolled a million dice.
He was there. I just rolled like a million dice to turn him. Turned him with Palpatine. Yeah, and I was like, no. So it was absolute. But I still lost in the end because he managed to jump onto Corellia. I was at the Rebel base. And I'd just been beaten off with my stuff that was there, and I had it about to move some more stuff in. He jumped into he did like a sabotage, killed my 4 points of stuff that was on Corellia, and then jumped in with the rebel ships to advance it to. It was so close. It was unbelievably close.
Yeah,
Let's play this game.
Oh, it's so
good.
good. It's just.
I guess it's only because it's 2 players, a bit of a.
And it takes like 3 hours.
I'd like
as
to
well.
give it a go 4. Other people have been skeptical.
I played it
about
3-player.
Yeah.
One of my games was 3-player, and it kind of works. Kind of doesn't.
It's not just having 2 people taking the same decision, is it? Because you have
No, one's the admiral, one's the general.
And
So
you
basically
alternate
everything in the game
activations.
gets split between the 2 of them.
Okay.
And obviously you can confer. But I feel like playing 4-player would be difficult because in 3-player it's 2 Imperials versus 1 Rebel, which kind of feels right because there's some kind of like discoordination between the Imperials.
Yeah.
But if you were to do it 4-player and there were 2 on each team, it'd be really difficult for the Rebel players to communicate without giving information away to the Imperials.
Yeah.
Because it's all about hiding with the Rebels
Yeah.
and getting the right people in the right place.
I think that lack of coordination thing would build in the theme. I don't know, maybe with the Rebels it would be difficult, but I guess you have got that because communication's different. Maybe it's not the lack of coordination, but
I feel
because
like if we had-
comms is difficult because they're doing different things at different sides of the galaxy. You know,
You can't really
True.
discuss where your hidden bases are,
No,
or
true.
where to place them, or
But I think if we had 4 people wanting to play, we should just play 2 games of 2 on 2.
Yeah, you reckon?
I think
I'd like to give it a go with 4 first, particularly if you've got 2 new guys or 2 guys who haven't played much. Put one with each inexperienced guy to
that could work.
But the thing that annoys me about it only being 2-player is it's easily the most thematic and fun and cool. Like when I turned Luke, like that was amazing. Like sharing that moment with somebody was absolutely incredible, and only being able to share it with one other person rather than like if you've got like Imperial Assault and you have a crazy moment.
Yeah, then
it's like 5 people to cheer or to but only having that one
different
person
experience
to have that like.
I had a similar thing where I sent Obi-Wan to go in and rescue Leia. And Obi-Wan broke Leia out of prison, but they were expecting it and launched an attack to capture and then turn Obi-Wan to the dark side. But so all of his characters were like focused down on this one prison. Like it was basically like using Leia as bait. He knew I was going to come for him, so he just assigned everyone to counter. And when you pick a character in Rebellion, you get one of 2 special cards they get. And the one that I got for Obi-Wan that game was that as soon as he's captured, he dies, and you gain a victory point. So Vader turned up to capture him, and he just like heroically sacrificed himself, died to Vader.
You can't if you strike me down.
Exactly. And then the Emperor turned up to turn him to the dark side, and was like, "Where is he? Fuck! He wasted all my time."
He's one with the Force ghost now. Sorry.
Exactly.
So does that leave you open to do something else while they're all there?
Exactly. So I could do all these other things while all his characters were like focused down on this place
with nothing
to do. So the Emperor and he did that happened twice. One time. Chewie turned up and rescued someone before the Emperor could turn up, and so the Emperor spent half the game trying to turn people to the dark side, but they would leave. They were escaping just before he could get there. So he had like these sort of massive dark side blue balls. I need to do something.
Did he have a word with Darth Vader at his appraisal? He's like, come on, Darth. I keep turning up, and every time.
Just spending his life.
Don't call me unless you've got them in carbonite or something.
Exactly.
For fuck's sake.
Send them to me.
If they're en route in custody of an incompetent subordinate, that's not good enough. Like,
don't even tell me about it until they're like at my palace.
Yeah, exactly.
Best not to know they escaped.
And I think the price has come down a little bit now. I think you can get it.
It is pricey.
You can get about 70 quid.
But
rather than
instead of looking at it like a board game and thinking, it's expensive for a board game and it's only 2-player, unlike another board game, I think of it more like Armada, where it's like a head-to-head thing that you play for an evening with one person.
So much replayability as well.
Yeah, it feels like it. Because I've played twice and I still haven't seen like half of the events and half the characters I haven't used. Haven't even had Luke in my game
The
yet.
little models are amazing. Like the little Death Stars are so cool, and the Star Destroyers and Super Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
All this stuff that you can't get in other games, like Super Star Destroyers, you're never going to get that in Armada.
Yeah.
ATSTs, you're never going to get that. It's the AT-ATs, the big ones.
Yeah,
you never
can't get that in
Imperial
Assault.
They're too big for the scales of the games.
But you don't have to. We can say that they could put them in there, just having them the same scale as the ISD. But it says it's Super Star Destroyer.
It just looks wrong.
Yeah,
it will look wrong.
I guess you could, because the Corvettes
could
aren't
still
from
go
scale to the ISDs and that kind of thing. But
they will bring them in.
It'd be too powerful. Like it'd be excessively powerful.
Yeah, because unfortunately in the fluff, a Super Star Destroyer is just insane. Like it's as long as like 20 Star Destroyers. It's got more firepower than 20 Star Destroyers. It's like if they tried to make it anything like it is in the books, it would be way too powerful.
I guess that could lead into being a campaign thing.
Even if you made it only twice as powerful as an ISD, that's 250 points.
It's
a lot for one activation.
Those are one ship.
It'd be either too powerful because you could use Alpha Strike with your entire army every turn, or it would be ridiculous because you'd have like 1-2 activations and it just wouldn't be enough. But
or you'd slice a toilet and
you'd have to have like different command stack with different bits of the ship.
I don't know. Maybe
it just wouldn't work. But they
might do what they did in X-Wing when they brought out the Corvette in X-Wing, where it's you play like a 5-step campaign and it works completely differently to every other ship in the game. And like if they made it like that, like the Super Star Destroyer is like basically takes up half the board, and you have to fight a special campaign to assault it with an entire fleet or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Campaign number 2.
You couldn't bring it to a regional.
You couldn't bring it into tournament
like
games. No, it'd be stupid.
So love the other Star Wars stuff.
It's all good. I'm still playing Destiny. That's good too.
Yeah, I've got the
spending too much money on
it. just one more pack.
It's just because you go.
Maybe this pack's got it in.
You go to the
suggesting that
you go to the
get
counter to pay to play. It's like, here's my money for my can, my tab for my drinks.
Yeah, no, I've got some Destiny.
What's that on the counter?
I love a Destiny. I'll buy one, maybe I'll buy 2. And in Excelsior, they have 3 for like I think it's £8.
Yeah.
So it's so. Do you think? Oh, I'll just buy one while I'm in here. That's £3.
Well, I might as well get 3.
Well, I could get 2, but if I get 3, then it's like £2 cheaper. Oh,
It's on me as well.
it's just like bloody crack.
They're out at the moment, aren't they?
Are they?
I don't know. I've not.
Yeah, it's
Find out
hard to get product at the moment.
Yeah.
We're lucky because there's something in big and not many people go there.
Yeah, well, I think I was lucky. I got in right at the start and did some amazing trading. Like I got half a box and then decided because I got Vader in my thing and I got a bunch of villains, red and blue. I thought, right, I'll just do red and blue villains and traded away all my yellows and all my heroes stuff. And now I've got all the red and blue villain stuff for hardly putting any outlay.
I like to collect everything. That's my problem. I want 2 of everything, but I don't want to pay
That's how they get you.
all the money, which I already am at the moment. It's more expensive than Armada. Saying something.
It's as expensive as you want it to be, man.
God damn.
Yeah.
Let's hope to win some
They
stuff
just keep
on
making
Tuesday.
too much good Star Wars stuff. They have milked crap.
They've done a fucking amazing job, though, haven't they?
They've done it really
it's so
well.
easy to take a license as popular as Star Wars and just slap it on any old crap
rubbish
and get it out there.
Well, if they take it away from FFG, at that point,
Well,
I guess
I doubt they will because they must be
the
making
sales are
so
through
much
the roof.
money.
Yeah.
Like, look at X-Wing. Yavin was this
Didn't
weekend.
Warhammer take away their license?
They did,
Yeah, Games Workshop took away their license.
Don't know why that is.
Yeah,
My
no,
thought is
whose
because
decision
they
that was.
changed their CEO. And I think he wanted a bit of a more like, we're
Do it
going to do it.
in-house.
Exactly.
Because they make board games as well now, so I guess they probably thought, why are we letting someone else make games for us when we can make our own games?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're good at it.
And I think they want to. They've
Well,
got a very.
FFG are better at making games.
They went on an IP rampage as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like
They hand their IP out to any game developer.
Yeah,
who makes any
they've no
piece of crap.
quality control
Yeah.
on Games Workshop's computer games. It's crazy. It's a shame, though, because Conquest was an excellent card game.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
miss
good.
that. It's a shame that's not going to keep getting more expansions.
Yeah, you could play it, I guess. Still.
You can still play it. It still
But it
exists.
just
It's going to get stale
Yeah.
meta-wise, isn't it, if there's not new expansions.
True.
I guess all the price of that's rocketing for a short period of time.
Like back to Star Wars, I think like Yavin with like 400 players and 395 players this weekend.
Yeah.
X-Wing, like,
X-Wing's
imagine
super
that.
popular.
Like,
One day
that would
they'll all
sell so
grow up
much.
and
Is Yavin
graduate
just
to
a
Armada.
Ooh, controversial.
Is that the regional?
No, it's like they have this System Open series thing, which is like their exceptional tournaments, and they're named after different systems from the X-Wing lore. So there's like a Hoth and a Yavin, and I can't remember. There's one in America recently. I can't remember. I think they have 4. Do they have? Is it 7 or 8 a year?
You tell me.
And then at the Star Wars Celebration every year, which is like the big. That was at the UK last year in London. I think it's in Florida this year. They have all the winners of those events, and they play off in an invitational Star Wars X-Wing invitational. But they have, it's not just like turn up and bring your list. They have like weird events, like you have draft X-Wing. You have to draft different ships, and they also have public voted lists. So you have like you say what your faction is. So the public go right. You can have a B-wing.
Janky
You can have this
combination of weird stuff.
Yeah. So they have
3 shuttles.
so
Good luck.
You've got to prove you're a really good X-Wing player. I mean, I'm not that like to get into that invitation. You've got to be
really
a great
good.
player
Yeah.
anyway. Because you can't win a 395 player tournament by net listing without practicing, you know.
Yeah, because every fucker's there's net listing.
Exactly.
That's
Well,
not going to get
I was just
you
watching
anywhere.
some of the feed, and it was all bloody Manaroo lists.
Yeah, I
which,
bet it was.
Like, it's all the same list, so the top tables. So
I guess there's just not enough players currently to even try that with Armada.
no, the thing with X-Wing, because it's shorter, you can
And you can do more rounds. So you can distill the better players better, because if you're playing 8 rounds, that really separates like the better players from
That's one thing we should probably discuss at some point with people. Is like how can we bring down? Like I think when we talked about a lesser point game of Armada, just to speed things up, like to make quicker games, like an hour long, an hour and a half.
the long
They
games.
need
Yeah,
that.
I like the
They just
long
argue that if you want that, go and play X-Wing. You
Yeah.
know, FFG don't want to compete with
No.
themselves
with themselves. Yeah.
at different levels. They go, well, if you want to play that, play X-Wing, and then if you want to play the longer, more deeper thing, play Armada. And
Yeah.
if you,
I think if you cut the time down too drastically, you do cut out some of the depth from the
You would.
strategy.
And you'd have to cut out some stuff to not be even usable,
You probably couldn't have flotillas if you're
No.
trying to do a timed game.
or even like
Or you
generals.
just chess clock it and just go, bam, you get
Death Clock,
yeah, like a War Machine, and then just go if you take whatever complicated list you want. If you can't play it fast enough, you dared.
But even then, you probably have to give each player an hour, and you're still at 2 hours a round. You could say 15 minutes, you know.
Yeah, we lost that anyway in the 5-round tournament. Like if you didn't do your turn in time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They cut it off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good idea.
Right, should we wrap it up?
Great. Yeah. So if you have any correspondence, send it to our email address, which Rikki knows off the top of his head.
We will put in the show notes.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Comsnoiseuk@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Hooray! But yeah, seriously, let us know what you like and what you don't like.
Might read some. I reckon we should read some mail out at the start of next podcast.
Yeah.
We'll read a few out and answer them.
If you send it, we will read it.
We'll read it out for next time. Other than that, we've got a tournament coming up. So episode 7, hopefully
2 weeks time.
We'll look for 2 to 3 weeks time. I think the tournament's in 2 weeks, so maybe in the week following
after.
And then we'll also have part 2 of our upgrade review. Let us know if you like that, the format, if you have any suggestions. We're always looking for feedback. We sometimes get involved in our little meta chat at times, so it's always good to know whether we're pitching it at the right level.
Yeah, and just to know what other people's metas like would be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, do you disagree
around the world?
Would some of our builds and theories just not work against the guys you play against? Let us know. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Look forward to hearing from you.
Build the community because there's a few podcasts out there now, and picking up pace a lot. So like the regional, 47 people in cards doesn't sound like that much compared to Yamen, but that's massive. That's
bigger than
3
Nationals
times.
was.
Yeah. Bigger than Nationals last year. And it's 3 times what regionals were getting last year. Excellent.
It is growing quickly, which is great.
So,
what's the sell Nationals so far?
We don't even know when it is.
There isn't a Nationals.
Not Nationals, but
I think they've about 30. I think they've sold so far. But the thing is, because a lot of the games they're all at the same time, and they didn't do like Nationals where you can do one day and another one. You got to do all of. You got to do. It's 3 days, Styles of Mana, if you make the cut.
Still didn't even know if I'm going to go.
It's a 3-day expo. It's only 3 day game. The rest of the expo is never 3 days.
No, I'm going to see it. You got to pay to go.
Exactly.
And,
but you got to make the cut, which is only top 4. I think it might only be top 2 actually for Armada. So, but anyway, so it's good to see it growing. So yeah, we want to keep that up. Send that in, and we're hoping to launch a Facebook page soon. So keep an eye out for that. Check out for the Comms Noise Facebook page. We'll post up some of our pictures and what we're up to, and keep you updated with what we're doing when. So
thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheerio.